Hello, my friends, and welcome to Truth Bomb, the quickfire quiz show where I test the best the indie media has to offer on AI's official narrative with a truth bomb or two thrown in. I have convinced some of the best indie researchers, journalists, and hosts on the World Wide Web to compete against each other in a quiz show which will shake the very foundations of mankind. AI sets the official narrative, but there will be plenty of occasions for each contestant to throw in a truth bomb to set the record straight and for a chance to win extra points for the answers. But I will be the judge of what that will be worth. Our contestants today include the one and only Hrvoje Moric. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. What's happening?
Oh, lots is happening. Lots is happening. The world's going crazy. So, if you married John Klyczek, your opponent today, and took his last name, you would have the hardest name on earth for anybody to pronounce. Will you become Hrvoje Klyczek for my own amusement and pleasure, so I can make people try and spell it out?
If it comes to that, otherwise, if he defeats me, he'll have the same. He could take my first name.
Okay. That's good. That's good. All right. I like it. That's what we're going to do today. So you're two educated men. You're experts in your field. You're going head to head. Do you feel like Gore Vidal about to beat off William F. Buckley?
One can only hope,
One can only hope to beat off William F. Buckley. It's true. How do you think you'll do against a professional educator? Are you going to be the one doing the educating on this occasion? You look nervous, I got to admit.
It's interesting. We're both from Chicago, and we're both professional educators. Well, I used to be a professional educator. He's still in the game, so he might have a slight edge there.
Okay. Well, how would you describe your opponent, John? Would you describe him as a tall, handsome stranger with a cute smile, or as a man with dead eyes of an emotionless lap dancer?
No, I'd go with the first option, and I wouldn't want to have a physical alteration with John.
I agree with that. I bet I would neither. Yeah, indeed. Well, Hrvoje Moric will be taking on the heartthrob of the indie media, John Klyczek. Hello, John. How are you?
I'm doing all right, Johnny. How's it going?
I'm good. You're taking on a man with a keen intellect today. Do you think you're going to be able to curry my favor for corruption points to come out victorious?
I'm not very good at currying corruption points or favor in general from many people, so I'm not sure.
Oh, well, okay. As an educator, do you think that AI is about to delete your entire existence at some point in the near future?
You mean like virtually or like physically with like a lavender drone?
Well, one leads to another, It's like kissing. It starts off kissing, but then everybody's drunk, so the drones start murdering people. You know how it goes.
I think I'm technically already halfway digitally erased based on the amount of replies I get on my X posts, so...
Yeah, I get a feeling lots of people are throwing out them black pills. They're like, I'm throwing out them too. Right, you told me in emails that Hrvoje is your mortal enemy and that you intend to smite him. If you had to see him punished, would you use waterboarding or electrodes? Your choice.
Waterboarding is technically not a form of torture, so I'm going to go with that because I actually do like Hrvoje a lot. So I'm going to go with the water.
Thank you.
Enhanced interrogation with water. That's what I'll go with.
I had the opportunity a decade ago. I was doing Krav Maga boot camp here in Mexico, run by an IDF former soldier. We had the opportunity to volunteer to be waterboarded. I chickened out, and I regret that I chickened out. But I did hold somebody down, so I did participate in the waterboarding.
Oh, you're good.
It was voluntary, though. It was voluntary.
Well, how was it? Were you able to tap at any point, or was it like you're going to be in here for 2 minutes and we're not letting you out?
No, they could tap out. It was a really big guy, and we had to hold him down, and they put a hose in his mouth.
You're always thinking about the tapping out bit there, John.
Well, I just want to be like if I know I can say I'm done at any point, I probably would have tried it. I don't. If I know that I can end it whenever I want, I might have tried it just to see.
But I was, it would have been good practice for eventually when the CIA renditions me to Guantanamo, and I can deal with.
So was it just a usual sex club you were in for this? No, I'm joking. I'm only kidding. I know these are type of special venues. Right. So I want to see violence. I want to see threats of violence in this show. If you threaten Hrvoje now, John, then I will give you the first corruption point. So it's up to you. Are you a winner or a loser? I think you're a winner.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't have threats in me. I'm sorry. I can't.
Oh, you're just too good. Hrvoje, go on. Score an extra point now that he's refused to threaten you.
Did I get negative points already for that? Is that a...
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
There's
do
no
negative
so you
points.
can't lose points. You can only.
You can lose points, but you can't lose points right at the beginning. There you go. There's my new rule.
I'm too big. I could threaten you with violence, and then maybe you give me my point back. But as long as
give it a go. Give it a go. No, do it, please. I insist. As the host of the show,
I'm being silly. I'm being silly.
Okay, you're being silly and only slightly violent. Okay, here we go. Are you ready to play Truth Bomb, gents? This is going to be a tough one. There will be blood. Before the show, I looked into the vortex, and the voice of Cthulhu sang Britney Spears to me. So Hrvoje will go first. Let's play Truth Bomb. Okay, gentlemen, here we are. The wall of dystopia. As always, it's a scary wall. Hrvoje, you're up first on this. Are you going to choose? No, for anybody, just to mention, anybody looking, there is a massive subliminal arrow on the screen pointing at Kroll, trying to get people to choose Kroll. So I know you're chanting Kroll right now, but I doubt that anyone's ever going to choose Kroll. But please, someone come on, get through to the qualifiers, get through the wildcard round, play one of these experts, beat them, and go Kroll. Do it for us. Okay, anyway, so there's Kroll, there's Jesus Was a Jew, there's Skull and Bones, Pinochet, Global Governance, and Zorro Ranch. Which one would you like, Hrvoje?
So I've got no idea what is Zorro Ranch or Kroll. Pinochet, obviously, in Chile. But, my favorite topic is always global governance, so I'll go with that.
Okay, we're in. Excellent. We've got 18 true or false questions about global governance here, Hrvoje, for you. I'm looking forward to this. Test your metal, as they say. So let's start off. The World Trade Organization, WTO, regulates global environmental policies. Is this true or false?
False.
Yeah, indeed. Have you got any, remember this game, if you got any truth bombs or anything you want to say about the World Trade Organization, what you think it really does, or global environmental policy, you can just pull it out here.
Nothing terribly interesting, right? It was founded as GATT and changed its name, but we know it's all about...
Hey, I didn't know that. Why did you say truth bomb before it and tell me all about it?
Okay. I'm learning as I go here. Okay.
Yeah. Go on, say it. Say the word truth bomb.
All right, truth bomb. So it was founded as a GATT. It later changed its name, and basically it's part of the structure for global domination. You have one world government. You got to have on one world system of binding nations together, their economies together. So
that's beautiful. That's a beautiful truth bomb on top. I'll give you a point for that. So next one up, the International Monetary Fund provides loans to countries facing economic crises.
True.
Yes, true.
And truth bomb, what they really do, I've interviewed John Perkins many times, and so what they really do is put these countries into debts that they don't need and can never pay, and then when they can't pay it, they take the collateral, which is natural resources, waters, rivers, forests, you name it. So
my friend, that is a brilliant truth bomb that people need to hear. Excellent. That is good. I like it. So you get an extra point there as well. The Security Council of the UN has 15 permanent members.
That's true. No, wait, sorry. You said 15 permanent members.
Yeah, 15 permanent members.
No, false. There's 5.
Okay, I will, because you almost said true then. You almost said true. So I'm going to make you can only have the point if you name all 5.
USA, Russia, China, France, Britain.
Yeah, good. Is United Kingdom officially, but yes, I'll give it to you. And of course, how many non-permanent members are there then?
Well, 15, I believe, right?
No, 10. 10,
Ah,
apparently. 10. So
okay,
it's
15
15
in total.
members in total, I think is the thing. That's good. That's good. I'll give you the point for getting it right. That's fine. The G7 includes Brazil as a member.
I'm gonna guess. I guess I'll say false.
Good. Well done. You're doing good. It is false. The G7 comprises of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK, and the US, of course. Excellent. Okay, go on. Here we go. Get a bit harder. The African Union replaced the Organization of African Unity in 2002.
I'll go with true.
Okay, yeah, true. Any truth bombs about African global governance?
I guess I'll try a truth bomb. The African Union, in my opinion, is financed. It's a carbon copy of the EU. The EU finances its. You look at the EU's external policy arm and its different agencies finances the further development of the AU, and they're working on a Pan-African Parliament, like EU style, and ECOWAS. It's the northern eastern region of Africa. They're working on a common currency and that sort of stuff. So I don't know if that's
an African CBDC maybe is on the horizon, I'm sure. Excellent. Yeah, that's good. That's a good truth bomb. I'll give you a truth bomb point for that. Remember, if you have a good joke or anything and it works, remember laughing is also gain you points. Corruption, laughter, violence, all of these things. Points win prizes in global governance. You know this. NATO's primary purpose is economic cooperation.
false.
Goody gumdrops. Yes, true. You're correct. It is false. Go on.
And truth bomb, its real purpose is to become the world military, the world police, and we see it trying to get all of the countries of the world to join NATO. They've suggested Mexico join. They've got Colombia and Argentina as NATO partners in South America. Admiral retired Stavridis has been writing op-eds talking about how we should just take Singapore and Thailand and add them to NATO, and they want South Korea and Japan and Philippines to join NATO and to host nukes there. And so it's the world. From its inception, it was founded to be the world, the military arm of the world government.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's a good truth bomb. I will give it. I will allow it. The Kyoto Protocol was legally binding for all countries.
I'll go with true.
False, I'm afraid. The Kyoto Protocol, signed in 1997, was binding only for developed countries listed in Annex 1, which, of course, you were going to know off the top of your head. Of course. Let's go back in time here now for the next one. I'm sure you're going to be able to say this better than me. The Treaty of Tordesillas, 1494, is a modern global governance agreement.
Oh my goodness. Never heard of it. I'll say false.
That's amazing. They couldn't even hide. AI is no good at questions sometimes. Yeah, it was a historical agreement dividing the New World between Spain and Portugal, not modern governance. Well. The Montreal Protocol successfully reduced ozone depleting substances. This is AI. You don't say the truth, whatever you do.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
The Montreal Protocol successfully reduced ozone depleting substances.
I'll say, according to the official narrative, true.
Yes, true. Signed in 1987, it phased out substances like CFCs, and we all lived in complete harmony afterwards. Go on.
I don't know if this is a truth bomb, but I did read an article like a month ago saying that the ozone layer is healing and everything is peachy regarding the ozone layer. So
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. I will give you a point for telling me that everything is rosy and we're all going to live in peace and love. Good. All right, then. Okay. The Rome Statute established the International Criminal Court. A hard one.
The Rome Statute. I will go with false.
Oh, you only had true or false, and you got with the wrong one. It's true. Adopted in 1988, it created the ICC to prosecute international crimes. Okay, here we go. Global governance refers only to the actions of the United Nations.
Well, I'd say false.
Yes, false. Includes various actors. Can you name any of the actors that are in global governance?
I don't think we have enough time. I don't know if it's truth bomb, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically all public-private, supranational, and I mean, World Economic Forum, the whole Bretton Woods system. We already mentioned, NATO, IMF, World Bank, World Economic Forum, all of the UN agencies, countless NGOs, right? Philanthropic, Bill Gates, you name it, and the BlackRocks of the world, and all those Vanguard, State Streets, if you ask me, and and the regional unions as well formed the EU, the AU, and so forth. So
quite that's a good truth bomb. I'm going to give it. So right, soft power refers to military strength in global governance.
No, false.
False. What is soft power? How would you describe it if you could?
Right. Soft power is basically getting your target to do what you want without using physical or brute force, and that can be through culture, obviously music, which has been hijacked. Laurel Canyon, you name it. Film, it goes way back. CIA, Pentagon connections to the film industry. I've interviewed Tom Secker on that a long time ago. Or using the color revolution model, right, to brainwash the foreign populations to get them to overthrow their own governments. So
it's wonderfully explained. I'm going to give you a bonus point. I'm not going to call that a truth bomb. I'll give you a bonus point. That is exactly, especially the cultural route. It's something we see now with the influencers around the world. Very important to recognize. Okay, the responsibility to protect doctrine allows intervention in cases of genocide.
True.
Adopted. Do you know when it was adopted?
I don't know the exact year. What was it with the?
If you did get
Rwanda?
the exact year, you would definitely get a point because you just admitted. Obviously,
1990.
You're done.
You're
done.
No.
You're done. You're out of here. It's 2005. It was 2005. Yeah. Got anything to say about it?
I think it was its first application with the Canadian general. I can't remember his name now. Robert something. But basically, it's just again, it's a fake pretext for the globalists to basically regime change who they want. So
yeah. And when genocides actually happen, you don't see hide nor hair of them. Right. Okay. Globalization has no impact on global governance.
I would argue that it does. True.
Yeah. Wait. Are you saying AI answer or are you saying your answer here?
I was giving the AI answer.
Okay. The AI answer you think is true?
Yeah.
No, false. Globalization increases interdependence, necessitating stronger global governance. Of course it does. They all love it. I'm sorry you don't get a point there. Multilateralism involves cooperation between only two countries.
No, false.
False, yeah. It involves multiple countries working together. Remember, if you want to add in a truth bomb, you can do.
I don't know. Truth bomb, multipolarity, multilateralism, I just view as synonymous, and it's all the same, just different names for the same thing. And so multipolarity is global governance is new world order, multilateralism, and you see them in articles. They use them also synonymously. And you had a recent example of Mr. Multipolarity Jeffrey Sachs come out and say, "I would like a global UN tax on shipping and air flights and flatulent." Okay, he didn't say flatulence, but and then he wanted to use this to finance a proper UN with world government with teeth. And yeah, it's just code word for world government again.
Yeah, excellent. That's a good. I'm gonna add that. That's a truth bomb. You can have it. Okay, global governance has eliminated all forms of poverty. Kumbaya.
Yeah, heck, how about no? False.
Yeah, false. Despite efforts like the UN's SDGs, poverty remains a challenge, says AI. Oh, it's true. Go on.
Truth bomb. It's creating poverty. The sustainable democide goals, basically. I couldn't. Thanks to the UN, I couldn't renew my bank card. I'm still with an expired bank card because the UN told the Mexican government, which told all the other institutions and banks, that no. The plebes now can only use as identification their digital ID, which in Mexico happens to be the voter ID, which I've never taken out. And so now I can't get my money out of the bank. How is that? That's impoverishing me. So.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good truth bomb. This is your last question now, so you better get this right. Global governance includes no mechanisms for addressing tax evasion.
I would argue that's true.
Well, they say false because, of course, that's AI. Is there any last thing you want to say about global, a last truth bomb you want to say, give what you think global governance is to the people and how you would describe it properly?
Well, I guess global governance is basically the march since centuries, millennia, the march towards forming a final world empire, and technology, particularly in the last 200 years, has enabled them. They can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I think they're getting close to it, and they're building it up with all of these things that we've talked about, these different agencies, institutions, national governments. In fact, I don't even think national governments exist anymore. Mark Carney was installed in Canada. BBC says, how did he win the elections? I'm like, what elections and what win are you talking about? He was installed. So yeah, it's basically world totalitarian empire, and we're almost there, unfortunately.
Excellent to that. That's a good final truth bomb to get your point at the end. Bad that we're almost there, though, but well done. Good round. Hello there, John. Your wall is here. You can either go with Kroll, Jesus was a Jew, Skull and Bones, Pinochet, Global Governance, or Zorro Ranch. Hrvoje said he didn't know what Zorro Ranch was. That's good. You don't want to know what Zorro Ranch is. Epstein used to hang out with all of his, little eugenic made toddlers. I don't know what they used to do down there. Anyway, what are you choosing here?
I am going to pick Skull and Bones. I'm sorry.
Oh man, the people would have got really excited there. Some people who are watching this would have actually maybe urinated themselves hearing you say Kroll for a moment there. Well done. Right.
He said, well, Skull and Bones it is.
Excellent there, John. You got 18 true or false questions on Skull and Bones Society of Yale. Remember, if you have any extra truth bombs or anything to add, say them, get extra points. Make sure you add truth bomb at the end. So the first question, the Skull and Bones Society was founded in 1832 at Yale University.
I'm going to say AI says that is true.
Yeah, true.
But I'm going to say truth bomb. Its origins actually go back to a German secret society, and it goes even further back, ostensibly, according to the research of Anthony C. Sutton, ostensibly back to the Bavarian Illuminati as well.
Okay. Are we talking about like Invisible College type of deal in what would you what
We're
type
going
of
further.
society?
You're going further back, but yes, you
Ooh.
could trace the lineage all the way back there.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, I'll give you a truth bomb for that. I like a truth bomb. I do. Okay, next one. The society was created by William Huntington Russell and Alfonso Taft.
That's AI is going to say that's true as well.
Yeah, that's true. It sounds like
pretty
like
basic.
you doubt that these two are the ones who actually come up with it, though. Do you?
Well,
Go on.
Truth bomb. William Huntington Russell was also the head of Russell and Company, which was an opium trafficking operation that involved other important people in American history, such as the Delanos, right? That being the family of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, etc.
Oh, that's interesting.
I believe the
Truth bomb, I
Forbes
like
as
it.
well. The Forbes family is also part of Russell and Company as well.
That's interesting. The Roosevelt family, of course, had many twists and turns within their lineage, and lots of connections all of the way through. Everyone from Theodore Roosevelt through to Kermit Roosevelt to some of the most interesting people within history. Right. Okay. Excellent. So the next one is Skull and Bones was originally called the Order of Skull and Bones. Skull spelled with a S-C-U-L-L.
I guess I'm going to say that AI says that's true.
No.
Okay.
No,
Well, then let me say what it says that it was originally called the Eulogian Society was one of its earlier names, and another one would be the Brotherhood of Death. Is that what it's giving you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. I just figured
Indeed,
AI
it
would be
is.
stupid. And so I assumed that it was stupider than it.
Yeah. No, sometimes it knows it's junk, and sometimes it's stupid. That's the way it works. That is the way it works.
I guess I was stupid for assuming it was stupid.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. It was the Eulogian Club, they say. I'm not sure if I would accept society anyway. They're the same sort of things. Okay, next one. Here we go. Skull and Bones is the oldest secret society at Yale University.
That's true.
Okay, they say false. Scroll and Key, founded in 1842, is younger. Other societies predate Skull and Bones. That's what they say.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I'll say maybe Truth Bomb. All of these actually stem from, I believe it was Phi Beta Kappa at William and Mary College. And there's several others at Yale as well. You know, there's the Book and Snake and Wolf's Head, et cetera, et cetera. But I was pretty sure that Skull and Bones was the original, and the others were all sort of offshoots or copycats. But okay. I actually don't know if AI is wrong on that, so I'm just gonna.
I won't give you the point, of course, for the actual question, but I'll give you a point for the additions. That's worth it. I like a little bit of that. Okay, here we go. Next one. I think you'll like this one. The society was inspired by German secret societies Russell encountered while studying abroad.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, as I already stipulated, correct.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. The society's founding year, 1832, is often symbolized by the number 322 in its iconography.
Yeah, I mean that's okay. I'm gonna say that the AI says that it's gonna do like it did with the Eulogian Society. I'm gonna say that it's disputed is the actual answer, but I'm gonna say that AI says it's false and that it's disputed. Is that a fair answer?
No, it says it's true.
Really?
AI says it's true, so you don't get the point. But do you want to explain the dispute in the truth bomb?
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that would be the most immediate or most, the most obvious conclusion you might get. But also, some speculate that it refers to the year when Demosthenes, something 32 BC. When Athens was shifted from democracy to oligarchy. And I will say an interesting note about that. That's a theory that Sutton details, and it's pretty well known. I think also in the Secrets of the Tomb book, I can't remember the author of that, but that's like the mainstream piece that came out around like 2000 to kind of counter what Anthony Sutton had written. But he looks at the Demosthenes theory, and Charlotte Thompson Iserby, people don't know, that was my mentor, and she's the one that leaked these books here. Actually, these books here, these are the actual catalogs, Skull and Bones catalogs with the membership names in them. She leaked those to Anthony Sutton. She told me that her dad, when he was giving her tips on speaking, public speaking, he said that you should do like Demosthenes and put marbles in your mouth to help you enunciate. She actually told me that because I mumble sometimes. Like I'm either really loud or I mumble a lot. And so when I'd mumble, she told me that story a few times. And I said, did you know the theory about the history of what 322 means and Demosthenes? So anyways, that's a fun little anecdotal truth bomb I decided to share.
I'll give you a bonus point for that. I love it. I also love the fact that you're a proper expert on these things. And I will also be happy to one day do a debate with you where we just have marbles in our mouth and we both do the debate with marbles, see if it does help, see if it's true. Right, okay, next one. Skull and Bones selects 15 new members each year, typically seniors at Yale.
Repeat the question, I'm sorry.
Skull and Bones selects 15 new members each year, typically seniors at Yale.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I thought undergraduate seniors. Yes, that's correct. 15 members. There's the senior society. Yes.
Okay. Excellent.
And Truth Bomb, I'll say that the reason why it's a senior society, not freshman, sophomore, junior, et cetera, societies, because it's not meant for networking on campus. It's not meant to be a sort of a collegiate networking organization. It's meant to be a networking organization for your business contacts and your political contacts after you graduate from Yale. And so that's why you get together in your senior year. And most of these people are old money families, large prevalence of the Whitneys, the Cabots, but also other big names like the Rockefellers. And so that's why it's a senior society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rockefeller's definite big name, over 5 letters in that name. The society has a strict no alumni policy, meaning graduates cannot participate after leaving Yale.
Does it mean graduates, meaning like people that were members can't come back to the tomb? Oh, that's false.
False, you're correct. Yeah, alumni.
I know. Yes, because
often remain connected. Yeah.
Yeah, they have. So after you leave, they have a hierarchy.
This is a truth bomb.
This is a truth bomb. It's like an inner circle, so to speak. So the people that sort of, run you through the rituals when you are inducted in your senior year, but the higher ups, they go back, they meet at, Deer Island, the little getaway. And what the older people that come back are often referred to as patriarchs. And so, anyways.
So they're definitely coming back. They are definitely right. Okay, next one then. It's good. I'll give you a point for that. John Kerry, the 2004 Democratic presidential nominee, was a member of Skull and Bone.
True.
True. There you go. Simple as it is.
Truth Bomb. His run for president against George W. Bush was the only presidential race in history in which he had both candidates competing against each other were both members of the Order of Skull and Bones. And if you consider that, right, so you mentioned there's only 15 members each year, right? So that means if you do the math on it, essentially there's probably about close to only roughly a 300 alive at any moment in time. So you take right out of that 300, right, out of that 300 person sample of the population, somehow the two people that run for president both come from that tiny little sample of the population. So statistically, right,
statistically it's about 1 in 300,000 or something. Be crazy.
It suggests not chance, but some sort of orchestration, right?
Yeah, no, the elites don't like orchestration. Anyway, I'll give you a good. That's a good truth bomb. That's a good one to add on. Okay, all U.S. presidents have been members of Skull and Bones.
Did you say all?
Yeah.
No. It's truth bomb. I believe it's only 3. I think it's Taft and the 2 Bushes, I believe.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna give you a truth bomb.
But I will also add to that truth bomb that almost I'm pretty sure almost every single presidential administration has had at least one member of the Order of Skull and Bones, either in their cabinet or in their high-level executive staff, basically.
Okay, well, you got your point. Don't do overkill now, you know. Okay, next one. Journalist Anderson Cooper is a known member of Skull and Bones.
That's false.
Ah, good. Well done. Do you know what other Yale society he was actually a member of?
I'm going to guess the second most prominent would be Scroll and Key. So I'm going to guess it's Scroll and Key. Am I right?
No, it's a manuscript society.
Oh, wait, hold on. Was it Delta Kappa Epsilon, DKE?
It just says manuscript society.
Oh, manuscript. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Investment banker and all-round innocent fella Avril Harriman, a prominent diplomat and an all-round nice man, was a bonesman.
True.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
he wasn't a nice man. I lied there. Sorry.
Well, yeah. I mean, other than the Truth Bomb, the Harriman family. So certainly E. Roland Harriman, but Avril himself also might have been involved in the Union Banking Corporation, and that was involved in basically funneling American monies to the Hitler regime through the Union Banking Corporation, which is connected to Brown Brothers Harriman, and through the Fritz Thyssen, through his involvement in that bank operation, and Prescott Bush, I guess it would be the grandfather of George W. Bush, the father of H.W. Bush. He was involved in that bank as well. He was also a member of the Order of Skull and Bones. There's several other members of the Order of Skull and Bones involved in this union banking operation. I believe Knight Woolley was another one of them.
Knight Woolley, what a name. I'm going to give you a point anyway, but Knight Woolley, what a name. That deserves a point in itself. You won't get a Knight Woolley point, but maybe sometime in the future I'll start giving them out. Bill Clinton was a member of Skull and Bones during his time at Yale Law School.
False.
Yeah.
No.
He did not. He was not an undergraduate member, even though he attended Yale Law School. Skull and Bones members refer to non-members as barbarians.
I believe that's true.
It is true. They go, "Oh, you barbarians, you!" It's like that, I think. Don't worry, we'll get onto that with the hasty pudding round later. Right? Okay. So, no joke. Skull and Bones has been linked to the formation of the CIA.
I'm gonna say that AI says that's true.
Yeah, AI did say that's true. Many early CIA members, like Richard Bissell, were bonesmen. Go on.
Yeah, I want to say that Truth Bomb. I want to say that I'm skeptical of that answer because I know that. I mean, I could have the books here. I can look them up, but I know just as one example, James Jesus Angleton is frequently credited as being a member of the Order of Skull and Bones, himself being CIA. He was not. His name is not in these books. Okay, so I don't know where
Alan Dulles must have been.
Dulles?
No. Yeah, were either of the Dulleses Skull and Bones?
No.
Now, I will Yale, though, wouldn't they?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'll tell you that Charlotte, she took dictation for John Foster when she worked in the State Department. She took dictation. She said she was sitting across from Golda Meir and Abba Eban. But yeah, like his Wikipedia page, James Jesus Angleton, like it's frequently touted that he's Skull and Bones. He's not. And there's actually there are many intelligence CIA people that were Skull and Bones, but there's actually not as many as people might think, I guess is what I'm saying. So I'm skeptical of that one. Yeah,
it's good. I'm not going to give you a point for the actual a truth bomb of such because it's skeptical. Being skeptical isn't a fact.
It's a truth question, man. It's a truth question.
Yeah, I do. I think Alan Dulles was Yale. I seem to remember that from with my research during the Kissinger articles with Schwab as well. Okay, next one. The society has been accused of influencing U.S. foreign policy through its members.
Well, true.
Like it would do that. Yeah, okay, it's true. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's very demonstrable. I've already articulated that several times.
Yeah. So Skull and Bones has been banned from Yale University due to its secretive nature.
False.
Yeah, it still operates. Correct. You have that one. And there's one last question. This is the last one. The society's influence peaked in the 19th century and has since declined.
Peaked in the 19th century?
That's what they say. Come on. False. It's true. Its influence remains significant due to its prominent alumni. Okay, so give me one last final truth bomb on the on Skull and Bones, something that makes people understand what it was.
Yeah, so you mentioned the Invisible College earlier. So as I mentioned, you can trace its roots back to the secret society in Germany. They can trace its roots back to the Bavarian Illuminati, and the Bavarian Illuminati sort of syncretizes various mystery schools such as, Rosicrucianism and Hermeticism and Gnosticism and Neoplatonism and all this stuff that was thrown about the Freemasonic lodges and sort of came to rise through the Invisible College. So what the Order of Skull and Bones, what the secret society is, it's basically like a corollary to what the Rhodes Society is, both coming out of that tradition. They're basically these academic feeders for global governance. So they feed the roundtable organizations such as Council on Foreign Relations, Royal Institute of International Affairs, Bilderberg, World Economic Forum, etc. And they also those set the policies for the world governance organizations such as the UN and IMF and the World Bank, etc. And so these people who are sort of trained in these mystery school traditions in the Yale secret society, they go on to fill these positions, and that's sort of what the Order of Skull and Bones is, and what its sister secret societies at Yale, other academic institutions, including the Rhodes Society, are.
Excellent. That's a good truth bomb.
Uh-oh.
So good. Your camera froze up for a second.
Everything was frozen
at the end. It's okay. It's okay. You were talking about some bad boys doing bad things. It's fine. Hrvoje, my friend. So you've been doing this work for a very long time. A long time. Does it feel like you're pissing in the wind, or do you feel like you're getting somewhere?
Depends on the day, the week, the month. So sometimes, yes, some of the work that I do, you throw it out there, doesn't seem to make a dent, but then on other occasions it does, and that's what then keeps me going. So
yeah, same. I feel exactly the same with that. There's some moments where someone says, thank you for sitting down doing all this work. It's had a good effect on me, and those are the moments where I feel really happy. In a sense, you are an educator too, though, like John. You said you come from a history of education. What made you change your focus and start educating people on the New World Order?
I recently did a podcast yesterday with William Ramsey, who's awesome, and we were talking about Aleister Crowley. And we noticed the trend. He used to be an attorney. I used to be a teacher. David Hughes finished his PhD and obtained a position at university out there in UK. And you see so many people like ourselves just leaving the profession because it's so fake, and you cannot pursue truth anymore in any official institution, whether it's government, academia, university, high school, university. And so you're gonna have to strike out on your own, and that's what being a true dissident is. You can't really do it within the system, and then the problem becomes you either have to come from a background of wealth or have a business where you're an entrepreneur. Daniele Ganser, the Swiss historian, I've interviewed him twice. He was run out of academia, and now striking out on his own. He's written many books. His talks, primarily in German, in Austria and Germany, sell out. He's wildly successful now outside of academia, and so he's doing much better than he would have if he stayed. And so, yeah, I think that's kind of why I just got bored. I'm like, and I'm reaching more people now, and so yeah.
Yeah, I think it was set up to fail, though. And the wise people are going to find their own way outside academia too. Well, you've got a brilliant platform. Geopolitics and Empire is an excellent platform. I once told my dog that I was going to eat her on your show. In fact, do you often have men threatening animals on your podcast, or was I the first?
No, I think you were the first.
I'm so proud. I have a title. So for John. Who is your favorite John other than yourself? Think carefully. Honesty is rewarded kindly.
The author of the Gospel of John.
Oh, that's a good one, but we'll give you extra points now. If you scrapped the entire U.S. education system and replaced it with potatoes that have faces drawn on them, do you think the youth of America would get a better education?
I don't know. We'll ask AI what AI thinks.
Yeah, AI would come back with pictures of drawings of potatoes with faces on. I think you are a special talent. You're really humble. Yeah, you're a really humble guy. Are you able to be humble because you're always right?
But what's funny is family and friends that they spend more time with me, so they get more of the rough edges. Like, you think you're always right. You think you're always. It's like, I just don't open my mouth to say things unless I've doubted myself so much that I actually can, have proved to myself, right? Have dispelled all those doubts. Like, that's why I know if I am argumentative, like, it is because, like, it's not just an opinion. I'll tell you, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure, So, but no, I think if, to the extent that I'm actually, if you want to say I'm humble, it's probably from getting punched in the face a lot.
yeah, that'll bring. Yeah, punches bring humbleness. I will humble you. Right. Okay. Now it's time to play one of my favorite rounds, Wankety Wank. Honest and truthful AI has come up with 8 quotes. However, I have sneakily swapped one of the words within the famous phrase with the word wank. It'll be our contestants' jobs to guess the original word. If they get the quote wrong, then the opportunity will be handed over to their opponent. Alongside the quote, our contestants will see a picture of the person behind the famous phrase. You can gain an extra point for identifying the author of the quote, but only if you correctly guess the missing word. You can only score points for truth bombs if you answer correctly. John, you're going to be taking first guess in this round, and then we will alternate. Let's play Wank Wank. Okay, the first quote here for you, John. You just got to guess the missing word. That's all it is. I never teach my pupils. I only attempt to provide the conditions in which they can wank. Now, try not to think about what wank also means.
Man, when you did the last episode, they had the sentence up there so I could read it again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You don't.
No,
I can say it again to you if you want.
Well,
I
visually,
never
I was going to I was going to use my old school context clues like I teach, the developmental literacy courses.
You're doomed.
Maybe I could narrow down the diction if I could do some sort of a Boolean analysis of how the words go together. I'm just gonna say it's either gotta be something like think or question. I'm gonna say
I will read it again. I never teach my pupils.
Right,
I only attempt to provide the conditions in which they can wank.
Discover?
No, I'm going to hand it over to Hrvoje. Can you steal it here?
Learn?
Yes. Hrvoje steals the point there.
Right.
It was a simple
Teach and
one.
learn,
It wasn't-
obviously, right?
It
Transitive
was the
properties.
simple
See, I knew
one.
if I looked at the sentence, I could have.
I know when you said that, I thought you had it straight away, but it turned out then you went far away and drove off a cliff. Hrvoje, you can now guess who it is. Who is that standing in the...
Clearly, good old Albert Einstein.
You get an extra point. Remember, you can throw it in a truth bomb. Now you've got both things right. You can throw in a truth bomb about Albert Einstein if you want for an extra point.
Got nothing interesting on.
Okay,
Einstein,
nothing. That's fine. Let's go on to the next.
What are those red things in the background?
Don't look at the red things. Just ignore the red things. It's
I'm just glad you don't have those horrific Freddy Krueger images up that was on the
I know that was, but they were pretty scary. I don't want anybody to be afraid. Hrvoje, this is your turn. I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them wank.
It sounds like the one from the previous question.
Yeah, now you're done. It does look like,
Make them question?
Okay, I'm going to pass it over to John. John, can you guess?
The only other thing left that I'm gonna go with, I'm gonna say, is think.
Yes, I cannot.
I was in between the two, so he picked the one. That was the only one that was left.
That's what made me laugh, because that was the same ones you had in your head last time as well.
And I would recognize that pug nose anywhere. That is the bust of Socrates.
Yeah, that's so great, man. Hanging out in his field with his furry, colorful rainbow Aberdeen Angus. Let's not talk about that. Okay, that's true. If you've got any truth bombs about Socrates.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. In that case, you get the nice 2 points there. That's all right. That's good. That gets you back on track. Right, this is back for you to choose first, though, John, because of the way it works. Here you go. There we go. Now listen carefully. The hand wank. I don't mean to laugh. Wait a minute. It's going to be hard to get through this one. Right. Okay, here we go. The hand wank gives you society with the feudal lord. The steam wank, society with industrial capitalist.
Okay, so read it again. I'm sorry. Say it again.
The hand wank gives you society with the feudal lord. The steam wank, society with industrial capitalist.
Okay, so is this two different words, or is it the same word in both?
Same word. The hand wank gives you society with a feudal lord. The steam wank, society with an industrial capitalist. Same word.
I want to say, I mean, the first blank, it sounds like I would say something like plow or something, but I mean, obviously it's agrarian. Yeah.
I'm going to pass over to Hrvoje, but you were on kind of going on the right themes. Go on, Hrvoje.
I want to say who that is. That's David Knight up there. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I like David Knight a lot. I really like it. He kind of got the beard going.
He's got the beard going on. Go on, Hrvoje. I reckon you know this.
Engine?
Oh, no. It is the hand mill gives you society with a feudal lord. The steam mill, society with industrial.
I'm trying to think of what. Yeah, I was trying to think. I couldn't. Okay.
And of course, everybody knows it's Karl Marx. It is Karl Marx. So over to you, Hrvoje. This is for you. That was good. Okay. Here is the next one. Let's see the happy face. Happy face time. He's very happy face. Okay. The machine is a great wanker, but it wanks downwards as often as it wanks upwards. Hrvoje, can you get it?
Can you repeat one more time?
The machine is a great wanker, but it wanks downwards as often as it wanks upwards.
The machine is a great. Oof, got me here. And it blanks downwards.
I got you with a wank. That's
Yes.
the first time that's happened in life.
I'll go. I can't. I'm just gonna throw something basic out there. Great. Banker.
No. Over to you, John. Can you guess this one? This is a hard one.
It's wank.
Hard.
Is it wank?
Every episode.
I'm joking.
Someone thinks it's wank.
I'm gonna say revolver.
Oh, you are quite. Actually, there's it's almost an anagram of this word. Almost. Give it. The machine is a great leveler, but it levels downwards as often as it levels upwards, and that is Bertrand Russell.
I could tell the picture. I knew it was Russell.
You would have got that one on the picture. Okay, so this next one is over to you, though, John. This next is it? Yeah, it is you first, right? Okay, here we go. Now, some of these AI wouldn't pop out this guy's image. They would not. He did loads of pictures of him. They just would not let me. Okay, here we go. In a technocracy, power lies not with the people, but with those who wank the systems and machines.
I would say engineer.
No, I'm going to pass it over to Hrvoje.
One more time, can you repeat?
In a technocracy, power lies not with the people, but with those who wank the systems and machines.
It's probably a very simple word that I just thought of.
With those who...
In a technocracy, power lies not with the people, with those who wank the systems and machines.
Who run?
Oh, very close.
It's control, isn't it?
Yeah, it is control the systems and machines. I will give anybody a point if they can work out who this person
Howard
is.
Scott.
No.
Joshua Haldeman.
Oh, no. This is one of the most important men in the world ever. He was one of Schwab's mentors. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto brought his daughter to him.
Yandel Elliott? No.
It ran in the same circles, but not quite. This guy lived with Hitler's former girlfriend when he was in Germany, studying land policy in 1938. He was going to be taught by Keynesian economic by Keynes himself. It is John Kenneth Galbraith. Yeah. Who wrote, of course, The Industrial State, which really mapped out where we are now.
I got one of his books.
The New Industrial State.
Yeah, John. I got the Culture of Contentment right behind me. I got his book. Yeah.
He is he's a very clever man. He's clearly a manipulator throughout history. Very interesting. Okay, excellent. We're going to the next one. Okay, here we go. There's another one that's related to technocracy. So this is for, who's this for now? Is this Hrvoje? Yeah, this is for you. In a technocratic society, tools end up wanking people rather than people wanking tools. It's very true.
Using?
Okay. End up using people. Yes, indeed. In a technocratic society, tools end up using people rather than people using tools. Do you know who that is? Another one I had to Photoshop because AI just wouldn't come out with an image of him.
I've never seen this guy, but I'm going to guess.
That's exciting.
Elon Musk's grandpa, Joshua Haldeman. I don't know.
I go in again. No, Ivan Illich. This is Ivan Illich.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, that's what he looks like. Okay, John, over to you.
Wait, what was did he say in a technocracy? What was the first part of that?
In a technocratic society.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to hear that. I didn't. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I heard that right. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and the next one is for you. Then it's going across. Right. Wait a minute. Get that right. It looks very, very, very like a. I'm proud to have wanked with President Trump, but January 6th was a dark day.
I guess I'm going to say served.
Easy. Yes, and you know who that is, of course.
Yeah, that's the governor of Indiana. His name is, why can't I think of his
Escaping
name?
you. He
Off
was
the
vice
tip of his
president.
head.
I'm sure you could do it.
Dude, this is crazy. I know this. I mean, it's so obvious.
I love it when the name
Hold on,
escapes
wait.
someone. It's
I got
probably
the
one of
guy.
my favorite. No, I'm not going to let you think about it. Well, it would be silly if I let you
I
think
know it.
about it.
How could
I
not?
want to keep you. This is like mentally edging someone. This is what mentally edging someone looks like. You can give me
Dude,
anything.
I'm drawing a total blank on this guy. Mike Pence. There it is. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is this guy's name? I'm like, I know this guy.
Michael
Okay.
Tuppence Halfpenny. Okay, so you get the 2 points there. Can you give me any truth bombs about Mike Pence? Want to give me anything?
Oh.
And wait a minute. Can I just say, Jab Whack, can you give Hrvoje an extra point for having one of John Kenneth Galbraith's books to hand to point at as well? There you go. Just
I'm gonna say that Truth Bomb, Mike Pence is a true patriot. No,
wow.
That's a joke. That's a joke. I'm sorry. Can I get a some kind of corruption point for that?
Yeah, okay. I'll give you a point. Yeah.
That's very corrupt to suggest. That
I
Mike
don't want to
Pence
see
is
a man beg. Stop begging, I'll give you a point. All right. Hrvoje, over to you for the last one here. I think this should be another easy one. Trump is a man of peace who can wank the Western world.
Save?
Yes. And you know who that is up there, lying in the fields of
Senor Viktor Orban.
Yeah, Viktor Orban. Yes, I think he's a little bit of a strange one too. But excellent. You did quite well. Any truth bombs about Viktor Orban? You might have a truth bomb or two, surely.
I got nothing interesting on Orban.
Yeah. You got nothing. Okay, right. Well, I can tell you that Orban, if we throw in, he's one of the German Marshall Fund alumni, which is, of course, crazy intelligence-linked neocon infrastructure for bringing up people. He's also was the first year Young Global Leaders when it was Global Leaders for Tomorrow in 1993, alongside some of the big boys as well, Bill Gates, Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, a load of others. He's a big boy, very interesting guy. I always wonder whether or not people keep saying to me, "Oh yeah, but he hung around with all those bad people, but he learned his lesson." But I mean, you could probably say that about most people. After round 2, Hrvoje scored 4 points in that round, 0 truth bombs, 1 corruption point because I am a dirty, rotten bastard, and no bonus points. He gets a total of 5 in that round. And John scored 4 normal points, no truth bomb, 1 corruption point. Again, because I'm a total and utter bastard, no bonus points, totaling 5 as well. So Hrvoje's on 30 and John's on 29. Close race indeed. So, John, what are you looking forward to the most? Sharing a hive mind with Barbara Marx Hubbard or being repurposed by giant death robots?
What was the second part? Giant what robots?
Death robots. They're robots that can hear, but they're likely to murder and kill.
I'm going to take option B. I don't ever want to be mind melded with anybody else, especially not Barbara Marx Hubbard. I'll go ahead and take the exit from this dimension, please.
Yeah, okay. We'll take the giant death robots all the way. Hrvoje, what about you? If you went back in time and brought up Jeffrey Dahmer as your own child, would it explain why he turned out to be a serial killer?
I mean, because I grew up in Illinois, and he was just a few hours away in Wisconsin, I think. And so I remember that in real time when I was growing up, those stories. Yeah. So what was the question? If I raised him, what would happen?
If you raised him as your own child, would it explain why he turned out to be a serial killer?
Sheesh, I hope not.
Well, we'll see in the future or the past or something. I don't know. Time to go to the next round. Okay, in the special subject round, I'm going to ask you 18 general knowledge questions generated by an honest and truthful AI bot. Of course, you may sense the outrageous bullshit, and you can earn extra points by setting the story straight, adding a truth bomb or two along the way. I'll be the judge of what, if anything, truth bombs are worth. Are you ready, John?
Sure.
Sure I am. That's not me doing an impression of you. That's just me generically doing an impression of any American. Okay. In which U.S. state was the first eugenics-based sterilization law?
Indiana,
passed
1907. Boom. Sorry.
Boom.
I'll let you finish. That was a truth. Boom. I'll let you finish the question next time.
The first ones are always the easiest ones, but I think you know a lot about this subject. Any truth bombs about that? Any information that you think is necessary to know?
That was the sterilization programs are what actually influenced Hitler's concentration camps ultimately. I go on and on, but I'll leave some of the details. Some of those other details might be useful for other truth bombs.
Oh, you clever boy, clever boy. Okay, excellent. You may need to make it up that extra point. Okay, you get 1 and 1 for the truth bomb. What was the name of the 1927 U.S. Supreme Court case that upheld forced sterilization?
Buckley versus Bell.
I'm
sorry, Buck versus Bell. I'm sorry. You said,
I know. I give you the point. I'll give you the point because you corrected me just as I said it in the most honest way possible.
You said though, because I knew that I got it. It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right. We'll call it it's like a half point, half corruption point. We'll give it.
Okay. I like it. I still want to see violence from the tough man in the room, but I haven't seen it yet.
Truth bomb. What was the thing again? Which one was this?
Buck v. Bell. It was the name of the 1927 U.S. Supreme Court case that upheld forced sterilization.
Yeah, Oliver Wendell Holmes, the ruling opinion, Supreme Court Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes. The famous quote was, 3 generations of imbeciles is enough. Not sure if that's much of a cool quote bomb, but it's a wonderful quote by such a loving man, isn't it?
That is an amazing truth bomb. Excellent. You can definitely have the point there. Okay, which U.S. state sterilized the most people under eugenics law, over 20,000 by 1960s?
I am going to say North Carolina.
No, it's California.
California was my second guess. I was going to
that was your second guess. Well,
because Human Betterment Human Betterment Foundation was big in California, and I believe that was Paul Popenoe. And I, back in college when I was doing some research on the eugenics history behind Brave New World and this, that, and the other, I looked at a lot of the primaries on that, and it was interesting to see you had these really old books on eugenics from the Human Betterment Foundation. It had tables of like different people that were sterilized, why they were sterilized, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And it's just funny to look at those books in there, and they're sitting in, and you realize like, well, people bought these like 100 years ago. This is like not to keep historical records of these evil things that happened in our history, but like because like, hey, this is cutting edge research, and we might want to, we might want to contribute to this body of knowledge. So, anyways,
you don't get one for getting this. You got the state wrong, but you do get the truth bomb point. That is a beautiful truth bomb point. And to be honest, California, if you spend enough time there, I'm sure you'd start to also think that maybe eugenics is the answer. So,
well, the reason why, and I'll say the reason why I said North Carolina is because that's the state where the sterilization laws stayed the longest. They stayed into, I believe, the 70s. California early on during the heyday was definitely like
save these truth bombs. Save these truth bombs. Save them. In what year did Nazi Germany pass a law for the prevention of hereditarily diseased offspring?
It's in the 30s. I know that. Wait, is it? Yeah. I'm going to say. I'm just going to take a wild. I'm going to say 33.
Oh, beautiful. 1933. It was as soon as they got into power, they were like, boom, boom. Let's get rid of these guys.
Did I get it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Correct. It was 1933.
I'll say that, truth bomb.
So
I get some extra points on the table here. Truth bomb.
Do it.
The Rockefeller Foundation was instrumental in helping carry out the eugenics programs that were developed out of that legislation. So Rockefeller Foundation funded Kaiser Wilhelm Institute for Anthropology, Human Heredity, and Eugenics.
Nice. Okay, extra point there for you too. That was a good one. You stole that one. What's the name of the Nazi program that euthanized or sterilized individuals deemed unfit? People like me.
I'm not sure what it's wanting, like a specific, like a legislative program, not like a theoretical movement.
It would be hard when if you know it, you know it, I think.
Okay, well, I don't know of it. I can't think of the particular sort of institution. I'm just going to say race hygiene as a general sort of.
Action T4. There you go.
Oh, T4. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where was the first eugenics record office established in 1910?
Well, it was in the United States. Do I have to be more particular than that?
You gotta be more particular.
I think it's connected to Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory, which the state that's in. It's on the East Coast. My buddy used to live. One of my professors that I really liked used to live in that state.
I love watching you deduce.
Dude, I got to get the state. I got all these other details. All right, so I'm gonna say it's either. Is it New York or New Jersey? Or I feel like it's up. I feel like it's up there. I could
give it a
wrong,
go.
though. I'm just gonna say New York.
Yes, Cold Spring Harbor,
Okay.
New York, to be exact.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you an extra point there anyway because you got Cold Spring Harbor too. That was beautiful. That was well done. Good.
I got a truth bomb that ties in the last round of questions, which is
okay. I like it. Let's do it.
The Eugenics Record Office was financed by the Harriman family. It was by the mother. It was by, I believe that not E. Rowland and not Averill, but the dad. I can't remember the dad's name, but the dad Harriman, his wife,
Billy Bob.
funded it. Yeah,
Billy Bob Harriman.
I'm
going to give you the truth bomb, regardless of whether you can remember his name. That was good. A good question, General. What British organization founded in 1907 promoted eugenics research?
It was originally called the Eugenics Education Society.
Nice, correct, yes.
Truth bomb is that then it would be generally called the British Eugenics Society, but in the mid-late 80s, they changed their name to the Galton Institute, in honor of Francis Galton, the guy that came up with the concept of eugenics. But just recently, like a couple of years ago, they changed the name again, and now it's called Adelphi Genetics.
Amazing truth bomb. Brilliant. Excellent. You are correct. The Eugenics Education Society, and then all of those things as well. What type of eugenics encourages reproduction among those with desirable traits? Not me.
This is called quote unquote positive eugenics.
It's correct. Positive eugenics.
Truth bomb, it's basically just the scientific in air quotes justification for the old blue blood theories of royal bloodlines going way back, whether they believed in the divine right of kings or some other sort of magical blood theory. But you could go all the way back to the pharaohs in Egypt, and there's actually a book. It's called In Our Own Image, and then the subtitle is Eugenics, Something Else and Something Else, by a guy by the name of David Galton, who is a member of or has served as a member of the British Eugenics Society. As far as I remember, he's not actually directly related to Francis Galton, but in that book, he himself traces back the origins of eugenics to like the royal families of Egypt, and he also looks at even Plato, right? Plato's ideas about breeding the best with the best, etc. So that theory is actually just a really old sort of elite theory that for kings to dominate plebes, etc.
Definitely. But those plebes do get out of hand. They do get out of hand. Okay. What practice did negative eugenics They've even accepted positive eugenics exists. They infer it in AI. What practice did negative eugenics often use to prevent reproduction among the unfit?
The most commonly used method would have been sterilization, compulsory forced sterilization.
Correct. Forced sterilization. Go on.
Truth bomb. Others include, it would have included abortion and euthanasia as well.
Yeah, indeed, that happened, especially after 1933. They could just pull out all the stops then.
And well, I'll add to this. It's just you don't have to give me 2 truth bombs, but and you
can't get 2 truth bombs. Don't worry. Go on.
Since you've got these, you're going to get rid of these, biological specimens. You don't want to just throw them out, right? That's like useful for experimentation, right? So before they would do away with people in the Nazi concentration camps, they would often do horrific experiments on them, medical experiments, some of which have actually transferred over to, like, when they induce comas, from what I understand, like, that was learned by some of the stuff Nazis did to people before they euthanized them, etc. Euthanized, right? Murdered.
Well, that is interesting. That is, you definitely still get your correct. And for your 10th, what pseudoscientific practice involves skull measurements and was used to justify eugenics?
That's phrenology.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, and
phrenology.
Truth bombing has a close cousin called physiognomy, and the so-called science of, so phrenology is literally the bumps on the skull. The physiognomy has more to do with
it. About the frizziness of someone's hair and what that says about their
every space of the eyes, how loud your mouth, big your mouth is, your chin structure. Yeah, it's everything about your facial presence, and some of it can get into somatotypes as well, but largely has to do with. And this field is, you're seeing a reemergence of it, where they want to basically bring it back and justify it through the use of AI, because through facial recognition, they're extrapolating patterns and saying that, like, you remember the old phrenologists and physiognomists, okay, part of why they wanted to, euthanize, sterilize, etc., is because, right, these people were mentally unfit, and that meant they were tended to be criminals, right? And so, like, criminology was deeply rooted in phrenology, physiognomy, eugenics. So now they're finding, like, look at all these people, all these criminals, that people have criminal records. They tend to have these same structures according to AI, and maybe we can predict, right? They're talking about using it for predictive policing. Yes, 100%.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's beautiful. They'll spray us with everything, put everything in our foods, give us big brickheads, and then say the brickheads are the problem. That's what they'll do. Which Scandinavian country implemented eugenics sterilization until 1976?
So there's a few of them. That most of the Nordic countries, if not all of them, to be totally honest.
But this is until 1976.
I'm gonna go with Sweden.
Correct.
Did I get it?
Sweden.
Okay. Yeah. There's a good book, Truth Bomb. There's a good book. I mean, it's not really true. There's a good book on this. It's back on that show. It's an academic piece. I think it's Oxford Press. It's Stefan Kuhl, and he looks at all of the the international eugenics congresses where the Nazis were having these international conferences with other eugenicists. A lot of them from Scandinavia, but some from America as well. So.
I like it. I won't give you a truth bomb point, but I do like it. What Canadian province had a eugenic sterilization law from 1928 to 1972?
You said from when to 68?
1928 to 1972.
Man, I don't know a lot about Canada. I would guess it's got to be one of the more populated, like, urban areas. I wouldn't guess it would be in, like, some of those areas that are more rural.
I like this. I still like the way you deduce. I'm a fan of it. I see a lot of people thinking on this show.
So I'm gonna say it's one of those eastern provinces, and then I think I'm just gonna go with is Montreal a city or a province? Tells you how little I know about Canada.
But it would be Quebec, wouldn't it?
I was gonna say we'll just say Quebec then.
Okay, no, it's Alberta. It's Alberta, but nice,
and that's
nice.
in the middle-ish or out west.
Yeah, that's more like in the
I was
middle.
totally wrong. My deduction sucked on that one.
Yeah, well, they love it. What 1997 film depicts a dystopian future influenced by eugenics?
1977.
1997.
Oh, that's got to be Gattaca, right?
Yeah.
Truth Bomb. It's basically a rendition on Brave New World. Brave New World was authored by Aldous Huxley. His brother Julian Huxley was a president of the British Eugenics Society, also the first director general of UNESCO, where he called for a global eugenics program.
A bunch of Fabians, if you ask me. Yeah, correct. Excellent. That's an extra truth bomb point. What American eugenicist wrote the 1916 book, The Passing of the Great Race?
That's Madison Grant.
Oh, you're very good at this. It's correct.
Madison Grant.
You got another truth bomb. You are amazing. Go on, keep going.
This is what got me into conspiracy, parapolitics, crypto politics. It was the eugenics thing because I somehow almost graduated from undergrad, and you get all the anti-racist, decolonial theories, but I somehow wasn't taught it in high school, wasn't taught it. And I'm like, how do we not talk about this like scientific racism, like this scientific technocratic version of genetic engineering that was part of this whole thing? And so anyways, and this was the thing that got me from academics into this, because I would go, like I said, go to the library. My window into this was Alex Jones's Endgame. All right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is wacky. So I would go there and I would try to find primary documents. I'm like, oh. So I know a lot about the actual history. This book back here. Oh, our friend Hrvoje has interviewed one of the premier authors on this entire history, which is Edwin Black. So it's War Against the Weak. And so that's kind of
I can see him swinging his t-shirt above his head in the camera down there. Yeah, he agrees. Yeah.
But the truth bomb is that Madison Grant's Passing of the Great Race. There's a lot of theories about what books Hitler had on his nightstand. This is one of them. But definitely he was known to have I believe he references it in Mein Kampf. Madison Grant was also influential in the American Eugenics Society as well, which is obviously the American counterpart to the British.
Excellent truth bomb. This is going to be a hard round to match, that's for sure. You're doing well here. Which British Prime Minister expressed support for eugenics after World War II?
I'm going to say it probably had to be Churchill.
Yeah, it is. It's Winston Churchill.
That's what I figure. See, that's what I was talking about earlier. These definite article thoughts, there's probably more than one. I'm going to go with, okay.
It probably is more than one. What Nazi scientist known as the Angel of Death conducted eugenics experiments at Auschwitz?
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I'm wanting to say, keep wanting to say the propaganda minister's name. Give me a second here. Mengele. There it is. Sorry.
There you go. Mengele. Joseph. Yeah. Joe. Good old Joe. We used to call him back in the war. What can I truth I wanted we kind of moved. Can I truth bomb the previous question?
Yeah,
go for it.
Because I just wanted to add, Churchill, right? He was kind of there's this new discourse about how whether or not Churchill was on the right side of World War II, and some of the people who what we'll call the revisionists that lean in that direction, there was a movement at the time in the royal family, I believe it was Edward the seventh or the eighth, Prince Edward, right? It was a big scandal. They said that he had to abdicate his throne because he wanted to marry this commoner, but he had been out to Nazi Germany, and so a lot of the Nazi stuff was actually popular with some of the royal family. Even today, you see they get caught going to these costume parties wearing Nazi regalia, etc. And at one point during the war, this is called the strange case of Rudolf Hess, right?
He
flies his plane over there to try to make peace with the Brits. So there's lots of weird overlaps between the Nazi eugenics regime and the British political machine.
It's true. It's true. I will give you a truth bomb point for that, but I'm not going to let you truth bomb Angel of Death there.
No, I don't.
Here we go. Right. Right. Okay. So there's another 2 questions left. What British philosopher supported eugenics and coined the phrase "survival of the fittest"?
Okay. I believe that's Herbert Spencer.
Correct. It is Herbert Spencer.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right. Yeah. So truth bomb, survival of the fittest is often attributed to Darwin, but he didn't actually use that phrase. It was Herbert Spencer, and he's the one that kind of popularizes what's known as scientific racism. But it was Darwin's concept of natural selection, which he actually got from, he was inspired by Malthus, right? Thomas Malthus, who's the guy.
Who isn't?
Right? He's the population control guy, but it was Darwin's theories about natural selection that influenced Galton, right? So he basically said that you could harness this process and then right through those things that we just called positive and quote unquote positive and quote unquote negative eugenics. So that's there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Good. And last question then. What 1912 study claimed to prove that feeble-mindedness was hereditary? And this is
it saying where it is? Does it? Okay, I'm gonna guess that it was the study that was done in Indiana through the Vineland School of the Kallikaks and the Jukes and these families in Indiana. And
you look at you, you're a dangerous man.
Did I get it right? I can't.
Is
it E.S. Gosney or H.H. Goddard that did the?
I will accept it. It's the Kallikak family study. You clearly stated Kallikak family, and
there was a bunch of sorry, and that's where the term.
Very good. Okay, give me one more final truth bomb on eugenics, something to give people an understanding of what it was all about and whatnot.
Well, I kind of give you the sort of like I did with Skull and Bones, right? I kind of traced it back to its kind of ancient roots, right? With this one, I'll sort of do the inverse, right? And I'll bring us into the future. And so eugenics is now essentially, right? Eugenics 2.0 is now what's known as transhumanism. So Julian Huxley, he coined the term transhumanism in a book called New Bottles for New Wine. Basically, he says that yes, we can still do the old school, euthanasia, sterilization, abortion, negative eugenics, and then selective breeding among the elites for positive eugenics. He's saying, but actually, the quickest way and the most efficient way that we can evolve the species is through, he says, quote, ideas and machines, and those machines, right, are basically now the digial technologies that we will basically merge with, right? So instead of editing genes or selecting for genes through these different processes, right, we can directly re-engineer the biology with neurotechnologies, etc.
That's beautiful. Hey, that was a good round. You bossed it. Well done. Ooh, okay. That was a good round from John. He is a powerhouse when it comes to this. And your next one is pretty broad, but you better bring the truth bombs. He's really pulled out of Hrvoje. It's your round. I'm going to ask you again.
I'm in trouble.
18 general knowledge questions. You're all right. You'll be all right. Don't worry. Do you want a little bit of counseling? I tell you what, we'll have a bit of counseling and then we'll start the round. Hrvoje, your specialist subject round is on foreign policy. So let's start off. What was the name of the 1947 plan that provided economic aid to rebuild Western Europe after World War II?
Marshall Plan?
Yes, indeed. Do you want to add a truth bomb straight afterwards? Is there anything you can...
Interesting. I remember truth bomb. William Engdahl, who I've interviewed many times, in one of his books, details how there were many strings attached with the Marshall Plan, which meant, for example, Europe was not allowed to use that money to build their own infrastructure that would allow them to be independent or sovereign. For example, when it came to energy or oil, they'd have to use that money to purchase American oil and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, it's very true. There were loads of strings attached to that deal. Yeah, indeed. And eventually led to kind of the German Marshall Plan 25 years later, which is his own box of spiders. Okay, I'll give you the point and truth bomb point. Which treaty signed in 1949 established a military alliance between the US, Canada, and several European nations?
49.
49.
I mean, wouldn't it be NATO? No.
Yeah, indeed. The North Atlantic Treaty, of course. Any organization. Anything about NATO? I'm sure you can find a truth bomb about NATO.
I guess you got endless truth bombs on NATO. There have been recent proposals to rename it to expand its mission, including
Happy World Police.
New Alliance Treaty Organization, which is so lame. New Alliance Treaty Organization, and of course we know NATO has carried out state terrorism. We've seen that through Operation Gladio and such. So, and you know, the EU Parliament, you can go to their website. There's a 1990 post where they say they admit, NATO. There are these undemocratic structures, and they carried out terrorism. But let's all forget about that. So.
Okay, excellent. I'll give you the truth bomb, and you got that right. But I'll also offer you an extra point. You're going to have to definitely catch up on points if you want to take on the big man. He's really started pounding you like he would pound someone in the ring. Which country? Can you tell me which country was the first country to openly admit their Operation Gladio ties?
Italy.
Yeah, good. You get an extra point. Well done, Mario. We'll say that. There you go. That's racist. Which 1898 event marked the U.S. as an imperial power after acquiring territories like Philippines and Puerto Rico?
Spanish-American War.
Yeah, I wouldn't. You see, I mean, this is America, of course. This is not something that I would know anything about. Eddie, can you tell us anything about the Spanish-American War for those who have no idea?
Truth bomb began with the false flag operation. The USS Maine.
I like a false flag. Tell me all about it.
The USS Maine. They say that that was attacked by the Spanish as a pretext for war, but it turns out later that it seems to have been loaded with barrels of gunpowder or something, and so it was clearly a false flag. Yeah,
it's beautiful, isn't it? How they develop these false flags. You go back in time, and it's like you can see the cogs. Excellent. Yeah, that's a good truth bomb on top. You get one for the getting it right, and one for the truth bomb. What was the name of President Woodrow Wilson's 1918 plan for peace after World War I?
I think there may have been two names. Was it the 14-point plan?
Yeah, I like it. Okay, the 14 points. What was it? Do you think you said it might have multiple names? What was?
I remembered 14-point plan. I don't know if there was another one. Or was it like it probably had the word peace or Paris in it? I'm not sure.
I get a feeling was the 14 points part of a star of any kind. I reckon they were probably okay. Excellent. I'll give you the correct there, but no truth bombs as of yet. Maybe you bought the pen. Yes, you can.
Can I throw in truth bomb? I believe that was not Wilson's doing. Colonel Mandel House. No, he was basically, I think, the guy that did everything behind Wilson. And when I was in Geneva visiting the old League of Nations building, I worked there as a staff assistant, as a student, and actually went to the League of Nations library, now UN Geneva, and I checked out Colonel Mandel House's diaries and just sat there, going through it. And he was basically the brain behind the British occult elite brain behind Wilson, and you see him in photos always alongside Wilson. So
excellent. That's a good truth bomb. I will allow it. Okay, next one. What was the name of the 1979 agreement between the US and the Soviet Union to limit nuclear arms?
There's two. I always screw up the years on the two different treaties.
This
I'll
is
go.
1979.
One of my professors in Geneva, ex-Russian diplomat, he actually participated in one of the nuclear talks. But there's two names, and I always get the years wrong. But I'm going to go with SALT Treaty.
Is that what you're going to go with?
SALT Treaty or START?
No. It is Strategic Arms Limitation Talk.
SALT. Yeah.
But
SALT.
it's SALT 2 officially, but still, I'll accept it. Because there was obviously a SALT 1, wasn't there? I think the SALT 1 might have been 1973, 1974 Kissinger and thing, but I'm not sure. Anyway, Strategic Arms Limitation Talk. It's completely acceptable. Any truth bombs about it?
Truth bomb, nukes don't exist. I'm just kidding. I believe nukes exist. But yeah.
No, you get a point for laughter. If you can make me laugh, you get a point. So you did it. Well done. Which 1904 policy extended the Monroe Doctrine to justify U.S. intervention in Latin America? A hard one.
1904
policy extended the Monroe Doctrine to justify U.S. intervention in Latin America.
You got me on that one.
I got me on that one. I didn't know this one.
1904.
Ooh, do you know who was in power in 1904? That might give you a
Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah, include
Big Stick.
True.
Would it have something to do with Big Stick? No.
No. It's actually called the Roosevelt Corollary. I can't even say the last word, so I mean, I'm tempted to give you a point just because I can't say the last word. But right, what was the name of the U.S. strategy to prevent the spread of communism in Southeast Asia during the 1950s and 1960s?
Containment?
No. It was the domino theory.
Right. Okay.
Sorry, that was a hard one as well. If you got any truth bombs about that period of history, I mean, we'll throw them in.
Oh.
I like pulling the brain strings of people like you because you're like, no, I haven't, but actually I do.
Like I said, on the spot thinking, sometimes the processor is
Don't worry, we'll go on to the next one. Which 1973 agreement ended U.S. military involvement in the Vietnam War?
I can't recall the name. 73 ended the Vietnam War. Oh my goodness.
It was who we talked about earlier. John Kenneth Galbraith was leading the anti-Vietnam War protests outside the White House and other places. He actually took Benazir Bhutto to those when she was at Harvard as a young girl, to those protests. Should I tell you?
Yeah, I'm sure I've thought it, but the name I just
it's the Paris Peace Accords. But if you wanted any truth bombs about the Vietnam War and U.S. military involvement, there may be a few.
Truth bomb. I believe U.S. Behind the scenes special operations were all because France was in control of France, until like the 50s, and then you already saw U.S. special ops operating behind the scenes. I think since the late 50s, early 60s, and of course you had the Gulf of Tonkin. Right, NSA declassified in 2005. That shows that, forget the name of the ship, that nothing actually happened. And Jim Morrison's father,
I knew Jim Morrison was going to come.
Participant in the whole Gulf of Tonkin.
It's a cheap truth bomb to be gained there. That's good. I'll give you that as a truth bomb. That's a fine one. What was the name of Bill Clinton's policy to promote democracy and free markets in Eastern Europe?
Oh boy. And it's Bill Clinton's policy to promote free markets. So boy.
It's not easy. These are, to be honest, this is a hard round for you.
Yeah. But I cannot think of any name whatsoever.
No, I'll tell you, the Partnership for Peace, but you can throw in a truth bomb. Save yourself a point. Bill Clinton's policy to promote democracy and free markets in Eastern Europe.
I mean, truth bomb. I mean, just do I get a laugh for mentioning Monica Lewinsky? But I don't. I don't. With Bill Clinton, I mean, there's just so many skeletons in his closet.
Or semen-stained dresses, one of the two. I don't know.
I think
He
that
probably wears most of them.
I can't think of anything top secret. He's ridden on the Epstein plane 3 times. I don't know how many times, but
oh, it was a fair few times. I think it might be up in close. Okay, I will give you a point if you can tell me the exact number of times that Epstein visited Bill Clinton's White House in the first 2 years of Bill Clinton's time in office.
7. I don't know.
Ah, you were close. 17. It's not that. You weren't that bad. You weren't that far away. Okay, next one. What was the name of the 1983 U.S. invasion of a Caribbean island to overthrow a Marxist government? Hard. If you can name the island, I'll give you a point for this because it's so hard.
Say it again. 1983.
1983 U.S. invasion of a Caribbean island to overthrow.
No.
Ah, yeah, good, excellent. Yeah, Grenada, I'll give you a point. The actual operation, do you know what the operation's called?
No, that one was.
I don't think anybody does. Urgent Fury. Oh, I like it. Have you got any anything about Grenada?
No, that was one. You focus a lot on the other ones, but that was one of those kind of like really tiny. Yeah, I don't got nothing on Grenada.
Okay, excellent. What was the name of the U.S. program to provide military aid to Latin America countries during the Cold War? This is another hard one.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, foreign policy is a bit of a wide one. U.S. foreign policy.
Repeat the question one more time.
What was the name of the U.S. program to provide military aid to Latin American countries during the Cold War?
No, I don't got nothing.
Okay, it's the Alliance for Progress. Sure. You might know this next one. What's the name of the 2011 U.S. operation that resulted in the death of Osama bin Laden?
Oh my goodness. Well, I can save that for the truth bomb, but the one in Pakistan, supposedly, right? Operation. I don't know.
I'll tell you. Operation Neptune Spear. What,
truth bomb. Can I get a truth bomb? I believe bin Laden died around 2002, 2003, and I had actually compiled a list of maybe a dozen mainstream sources. I would actually show this in my classes. Mainstream articles, Guardian, CNN, that argued, he was on dialysis. Well, actually, he was in July 2001 visited by CIA in, I think it was Saudi Arabia or UAE, in a hospital. So he was in bad health. And then there were countless testimonies saying, was it Bob Baer, former CIA, from 2002, 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6, saying that he's died. French intelligence, Israeli intelligence. I think even Bush said in 2004 he's dead. I think Madeleine Albright, Benazir Bhutto, I think she was interviewed, and she said, yeah, he's dead. This is the range of the years like 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, way before 2011. So I think he's been long dead. So
yeah, that's good. I don't understand why they would give him such a sea burial if he was already dead. Why would they do that? Okay, that's a good point. Which U.S. president introduced the good neighbor policy toward Latin America in 1930s?
FDR.
Yeah. Franklin Delano. Anything on Latin American relationships or FDR?
Well, not FDR, but maybe this goes back to the 20s. I don't know if this counts as a truth bomb, but one of the previous secretaries of state, I think in 1922 or 24, because I mentioned this to my Mexican students, there's an actual quote where he says, the way we're going to control Mexico is not through brute force, military means, but we're going to take the best and brightest, the elite class of Mexico, bring them to study at the universities in Ivy League in the U.S., and then they'll go back to positions of power in their own country, and that's how we're going to manage Mexico, and then you had like maybe 20, 30 years later when
Universities of the Americas.
Well, that stepped up to Mexican presidents actually becoming CIA agents.
Yeah.
I've interviewed Jefferson Morley, who declassified those files where you had, they set up, Winston Scott set up in 1950 the CIA office in Mexico City, and from there he went onboarding Mexican presidents to CIA agents with Lee Tempo code names. So.
Yeah, and I would say that Pinochet went through the University of the Americas and did exactly the same thing. It was a perfect example of that. Extra, good point. So that's a truth bomb. Which 2020 agreement brokered by the US normalized relationships between Israel and several Arab states?
Abraham Accords.
Yeah, correct. Do you have any truth bombs about the Middle East?
I'll throw a truth bomb where I believe that so Abraham Accords deal with Israel and the Gulf countries, and you've got the Shah's son Reza Pahlavi now, who's doing the circuit in the U.S. He's on socials. He was at National NatCon conference last year, which tells you that he's tied to the Pentagon establishment, and he seems to be christened the replacement for the current Iranian regime, and he's pushed something called Cyrus Accords, which is like Abraham Accords 2.0, which would include Iran. So it seems like what they want to do is they've got with Abraham Accords, Israel and Gulf countries without Iran because of their current regime, and they want to regime change Iran, plug them into the Abraham Accords, and I guess rename it Cyrus Accords. So I think that's where we're headed.
Wow. Okay. Just a note. That's a good truth bomb. 2, 3, 4, 5. Just a note to behind the studio. Yeah, he did get question 5 correct. So just to say that. Okay, next one. What was the name of the U.S. strategy to counter Soviet influence in the Middle East during the 1950s?
Would it have been the Eisenhower Doctrine?
Oh, you are good. Yeah. Okay, the Eisenhower. Any truth bombs to throw in there? Being as you're just spitting off your guns now.
Regarding the Middle East and Eisenhower, yeah, in that time period, I got nothing.
There is a fair bit to be had there. I would have accepted just Eisenhower's warning itself for the military-industrial complex taking over.
I thought that was a cheap point, but
yeah, that would be a cheap point, but it would be the cheapest I would accept, is what I'm saying. It would be the car park token of payment.
Well, I don't know if I could add. The Saddam Hussein late 70s was put into power by the West and their puppet. They gave him chemical weapons to use, and I think they financed both sides of the Iran-Iraq war in the 80s, and then they told I think, and well, if we go up to 1990, George Bush Sr. gave the green light to Saddam to invade Kuwait, and then as soon as he did, he's like, "What are you doing? Just kidding, no!" And they basically used him as a puppet, and then they started Operation Desert Storm with another false flag. The Kuwaiti minister's daughter, right, came out crying, and she'd been trained by an acting agency. Was it Hill and Knowlton? And so I don't know if that counts. So
yeah, that's good. That's a good. I'll give you an extra point there. I have to say, it's the old trick. It's actually they kind of again, but the Zulfikar Ali Bhutto comes up again because they kind of did the same. Kissinger said, "Don't you dare look for nuclear weapon technology," and then behind the scenes got France to deal with nuclear weapons technology with them, and then said, "How dare you deal in this technology? And we're gonna sanction you." And then eventually he was killed, of course. While in power. Okay, we got 3 questions left. Sorry, here we go. Which 2018 summit marked the first meeting between U.S. president and North Korean leader?
Oh, the actual name.
Well, do you know where it was? Because that's the name of it.
I was in Pyongyang. No.
No. They did actually meet somewhere else.
You said Trump and North Korea, yeah.
Yeah.
Where else would they have met?
Well, there's only you
Beijing?
could deduce like a John Klyczek if you want. could
Not
do
the
it.
Beijing.
I
China.
watch it. I'll rub my legs as I watch you do it.
It wouldn't have been in Mongolia.
That's that's a sentence you could use anywhere. It wouldn't have been in Mongolia. You're probably right every time.
No, I oh my
Okay,
God.
so called the Singapore Summit. Of
Okay.
course. Good times though had by all. Any truth bombs about North Korean leader and Donald Trump?
Trump and Kim Jong Un. Nothing. What's the cheap one here?
What's
No.
the cheapest you can go? No, there's no. There doesn't look like there's nothing here. Okay, next one then. What was the name of the U.S. program to combat drug trafficking in Colombia during the 2000s?
Oh my goodness.
Extremely easy name. Super easy.
Repeat the question again.
What was the name of the U.S. program to combat drug trafficking in Colombia during 2000s?
Oh my goodness. It didn't have Pablo Escobar in the name, does it?
No.
Oh my goodness.
I'll tell you if you want.
It's not working for me today. Go ahead.
Plan Colombia.
Oh my
That
God.
was it. That was it.
And we have
Sorry.
to, yeah, we have a number of those plans. Like for Mexico, there's Plan Merida and Plan, yeah. So
Yeah. Got anything about Colombia and America? Without breathing in through your nose.
I mean, with Colombia, I mean, I can't remember the exact details, but obviously the CIA was involved with that drug running. I knew someone who ran cash for the Mexican cartels to Colombia.
I think if you hang around in South America long enough in any country, you do hear a lot of stories about exactly that. I was in a couple of rooms with people where it's like people talking about their time working doing that, and you're like, oh, it was the only work for gringos down that way, I think. Okay, last one then. What was the name of the 1944 conference that established the International Monetary Fund and World Bank?
Bretton Woods conference.
Yes, Bretton Woods conference. Excellent. Anything about Bretton Woods?
Well, I guess we can say was it Keynes. For me, most interesting. I don't know. TRUTHBOMB proposed the Bancor as a world currency, and that's something I think still on the table. In fact, one of my recent guests, Warwick Powell, who works in this field, wrote a piece on how Bancor, because the idea is still there. That's something they want to implement, but they weren't able to. And BRICS Clear or BRICS Unit, one of these working initiatives they have in the BRICS world to create like a common currency, that he was using Bancor as a possible sort of draft for that. So, that's where they drew up the one world currency, and they still have plans to implement that. And you also have the IMF special drawing rights, which also are part of that plan, and may end up being at the top of the financial pyramid, the SDRs. So
amazing that they'll come up with a plan almost 100 years ago, and just slowly wait, just like the Fabians, just like the Malthusians, just like all of them, just like any globalist, any technocrat, anything. They just wait for it to be ready. Finally, that's good extra truth bomb point there. Got that correct. Final misconceptions or understanding or something about foreign policy, and how it works for people. Truth bomb points apply.
Yeah, I'd argue we've seen each successive empire throughout time just get bigger and bigger, right? All the different European empires, the British Empire, the American Empire, it just keeps metastasizing. And the ultimate goal, again, is world government. You mentioned Spanish-American War, and since then it was just virtually every event is a false flag operation, regime change operations, and then the goal. I think U.S. foreign policy and the U.S. foreign policy have been used as the hammer by the globalists who remain behind the scenes. Some say it's the British, a city of London or whatever. They've used America as the hammer to construct the world government, and I think a lot of the bombing of nations and these wars, the purpose that a lot of people don't talk about. They talk about, oh, it's for the oil or whatever. I mean, that's just low level hanging fruit. I think the goal is to destroy nations, the national structures, national governments, the religions, traditional religions of these places, and customs and cultures, to make way for the regional supranational structures. And then over time, they've with the technology, the internet, refined that and switched away, in the 80s, 90s to soft power, color revolution style stuff, National Endowment for Democracy and USAID, which they're doing what the CIA used to do with brute force, Guatemala, Iran, so on, and then now they're doing it by psychological manipulation.
And now I would say that what Doge is about is reforming that world of non-governmental development organizations and NGOs and reforming it for the modern internet era and recreating the neocon infrastructure behind the scenes in a way that means that they can drop a load of things and look like they're actually getting rid of things and they're heroes, but in actual fact, they're just reforming it for the modern era. Excellent. That's a good point at the end there. You did all right in the end. Okay, in round 3, the specialist subject round, John scored 15 points, 13 truth bombs, brutal, and a bonus point, scoring 29 in total. That was brutal. And Hrvoje scored 12 normal points, 12 truth bombs, 1 bonus point, for a total of 25 after 3 rounds, leaving us with Hrvoje at 55 and John at 58. All to play for, and as we approach the picture round. John, how long before we have robot cockfighting?
I don't know.
Will you give your cock to robots willingly?
No, I will not.
No. Okay. Seriously though, Hrvoje, how many grams are in an ounce?
Grams in an ounce.
You know how many grams are in an ounce? I can tell you.
I know this one.
He's just...
That's why
I know this one.
Math was never my forte.
This is mathematics, like Tupac taught about.
Okay, you can tell me that. Go on then. How many grams are in an ounce there, then, John?
28, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it's 28. Do you know how many grams are in a Mexican ounce?
Mexican?
I can promise you it's less.
Wait, is there a thing as a Mexican ounce?
No. It's when they've already taken stuff out of there before they've sold it to you. But anyway, let's go on to the next round. We enter the quickfire picture round, and this week it's called the Tribble with Ballerinas. So, first one to exclaim truth bomb. This is a fastest finger round. To get the answer, you have to shout truth bomb. If you're wrong, it'll be handed over for a chance to win extra points. You must get the answer right if you want to give a truth bomb. You're going to see some pictures of famous people dressed in as ballerinas, and they are in fields of tribbles mostly. Let's start with the first one. Get ready. Be prepared to say truth bomb. Here we go.
Are we supposed to guess who it is, or?
Oh yes, most definitely. You got a truth bomb if you think you know.
That,
go on.
I got 2 options here. I'm going to go with Pinochet.
Yes, it is. It's the little ballerina Pinochet. Any truth bomb about Pinochet?
The U.S. backed, Kissinger backed, Chicago Boys backed regime change operation against Allende occurred on September 11th, 1973.
Yes, it did. One gunshot, one man who claimed he witnessed later in the camp alongside the likes of Orlando Letelier. It's an extremely interesting story. That excellent. Okay, remember, fastest finger. Put your finger on the trigger. Get ready to say truth bomb. You got an extra truth bomb point there as well. Boy, here we go. Get ready.
Truth bomb. Raul Castro.
Yes, very good. It is Raul Castro. Well, who did you think it was, John?
I thought it was Allende. I guess my brain was thinking, it kind of maybe look.
Yeah, he does look a little bit like Allende, but I was wondering if anybody was going to recognize Raul Castro, but you did. Any truth bombs about Raul Castro? You're making up these points. You're making back these points in this round. John, better be careful.
Particularly not on Raul. I don't know if this counts. Servando Gonzalez wrote a book. I have it here where he says that Fidel was basically he's a globalist asset who's what he's doing now is actually he's been instructed to do sort of it's kind of like a ticking time bomb, like to create this division between U.S. and I don't know Cuba. I haven't looked at his stuff as of late.
I'm not going to give you the truth bomb point for that. I'll give you the point for getting Raul Castro, but I'm not going to give you the truth bomb. I like a nice coherent truth bomb. Okay, next one. Get ready. Fastest finger. Truth bomb. Say truth bomb to answer to get in chance.
Truth bomb.
Truth bomb.
Hrvoje is quick.
Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, it is Saddam Hussein in his field of weird Tripoli-like creatures, imagining happy rainbows forever. Go on. Any truth bombs about the big man?
I don't know any like big secrets.
Baghdadi boy. Baghdadi
I already mentioned a few things about him. My professor, was Saddam's
on to the next
defense
one.
lawyer. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Curtis
professor
Dobler. He was my Dutch American international law.
You saved a truth bomb point there. There you go. Did he do well?
No, I ended up hanging. Well, that's at least what they tell us. But
yeah.
The reason he chose to the reason he chose to defend him was that according to international law, he was innocent. He was the bad guy, but he was innocent in the sense he didn't have WMDs and had nothing to do with 9/11.
Yeah. He was innocent of what they accused him of for sure. Okay, excellent. Right. Okay, you get the truth bomb point for that. Here we go. Fastest finger. John, you've got to get ready to say truth bomb. Get ready. As soon as you see it.
Truth bomb.
Oh, look, Hrvoje, he's so fast. Go on. This picture absolutely scares me. Terrifies me. I don't like looking at it. When it generated, I was like, that is such a horrible picture. I just don't want to see it.
I was too busy looking at the guy's face to realize what was around him, trying to figure out who it was.
It's just one of the most horrible faces. Any truth bombs about Mr. Bunga Bunga himself?
Did you hear me say the name? Is Berlusconi, right?
Yeah, it's Berlusconi. You got it correct.
No, I got nothing.
Okay, next one. Get ready to say truth bomb. This quick fire round. Here we go. Next one.
Truth bomb.
Oh,
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah,
you gotta get like the AI replay back on it. Oh, the audio started out of Jake's mic. I don't know. I think I got it a little earlier. Who do you want to give it to, Johnny?
No, I heard. No, it was definitely Hrvoje.
I think, John, you should just say truth bomb before you even see the next photo.
and then come out and then give the wrong answer. Okay.
This is what Fox Screen did. He ended up on one of them. It came up and he went.
Because my mouth wants to say the person that I think it is before I say the truth bomb, and then I know that's my mental gears. And by the time I do that,
James Delingpole had that issue. Okay. So Kim Jong-un, indeed. Next one then. Fingers on buzzers, John. Just say truth bomb as soon as you risk it for the biscuit. Here it comes.
Truth bomb. I actually.
Yeah, John. Go on.
It's Andrew Tate, obviously.
Look, that was easy. You got any truth bombs about Andrew Tate?
I got a truth bomb about Andrew Tate. His kickboxing championship is like, it's not. For people that compete in kickboxing, you understand that it's like the level of belt that is, it's not really world class. That's the truth bomb on that.
Oh,
and I will happily spar Mr. Tate if he would like to prove. I'm just saying, if he doesn't like that, he doesn't like that assessment of his kickboxing skills. He's a lot bigger and taller than me, but I'm always the smaller guy.
Okay,
so I would have fun with that. But yeah, that belt he holds, no, it's not like Ryzen or anything that's legitimately like world class.
Okay. You get 1 point for getting Andrew Tate right. You get 1 point for a bit of a truth bomb there, and you get another point, a violent bonus point for calling him out. We love a bit of that. See, it actually worked out for you to say truth bomb as soon as it went. So here you go. In saying that, get ready, gentlemen. Here we go.
Truth bomb.
Oh my God. Okay, that was a camera finish. I'm going to have to go across to my main guy and find out who got that, because that was just too close to call. That was just too close to call for me. That was you. I really enjoyed that. Oh, my producer definitely, Jabwack, says, yeah, mate, it's John. John got it. So go on. Who is it?
That's Mr. Ed. No, I'm just joking. I'm sorry. That wasn't nice. I'm sorry. That wasn't nice. It's Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm sorry. Should we edit that? Was that not appropriate? It's a game show. We're supposed to make jokes. You're not supposed to make fun of people's looks. But
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You're fine. You got an extra point for that. So who is it? If it's not Mr. Ed.
It's Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, okay, you get the point. Have you got any truth bombs about Marjorie Taylor Greene or Mr. Ed?
Don't I get a laugh point as well? I got you to laugh.
Yeah, you got. Well, that's what you got. That's your first point was for Mr. Ed. That was your laugh point.
I don't have any truth bombs about her except that she's, not this rogue political personality that people think is some kind of, on Team MAGA, some kind of dissident politician. She's just another.
She's just another one of them. Okay, we'll just go to the next one. Get ready to say truth bomb. Here you go. Just bomb. Okay, that was Hrvoje. That sounded like
I didn't even finish the word because I don't really know who that is. When I say truth, who?
The consummate Davos man, Mark Carney.
Yes, it is. You get the point there. Have you got any truth bombs about little ballerina? This is the second heaviest image of this reel here. But go on.
He's on the external board of Stripe. He's, I don't know what else. He's been Bank of the first non-English Bank of England governor, I think. Also Canada.
He was the head of Chatham House until very late as well. President of Chatham House. That's one hell of an accolade. That was a good round. I liked it very much, except for that one picture that will definitely leave me with nightmares. Round 4, John scored 2, had 1 truth bomb, no corruption points, no bonus point, and 1 violence point and 1 laugh point. These are excellent points to be given out for a total of 5. Hrvoje scored 5 points, 3 truth bombs, and 1 violence point and 1 laugh point, totaling 8. So after 4 rounds, Hrvoje has 63 and John has 63. Excellent. Like 3 hyper-sexy masticators vying for the cover of Bubblegum Chewer Weekly, Hrvoje, John, and I have been sucking and chewing since the break of dawn. Question is, do we know what a hasty pudding tastes like? Here we go. Every year, the elite Harvard Hasty Pudding Club, once funded by Jeffrey Epstein himself, chooses 1 man of the year and 1 woman of the year. In this round, our contestants will see 4 boards, one at a time, showing famous actors and actresses. 5 of the 6 have one of the Hasty Pudding's top guys or girls. 1 is a dud. All our contestants have to do is take turns picking members of the Hasty Pudding Club. Each correct guess sees the point for each board increase until our contestants find a dud. Each board has a potential of 5 points. Let's play to be or not to be a hasty pudding. That is the question. So here we go. We have 6 people on this board. You may recognize some of them, I'm sure. They're pretty famous folks. 5 of them have been grandees of the Hasty Pudding Club. They have been awarded for their gift to the establishment. We will go first, Hrvoje. You pick someone who you think is the most establishment actor that is on there.
The most establishment.
The one that makes you think, oh no, he's got to be dirty. He's so establishment.
Well, we got the 2 Scientologists there. I'm going to go with Tom Cruise.
Okay, that's good. That's 1 point. We're on 1 point now. John, over to you. If you pick the dud, Hrvoje scores 1 point. If you don't, it goes up to 2 points, and it's Hrvoje's turn.
Okay, so I guess I'll just pick the other Scientologist, which is the guy in the opposite corner. That's the disco movie guy. What's his name? John Travolta.
Yeah, I will forgive forgetting of names or not knowing of names. I will forgive that. Yes, okay, 2 points. Now over to you, Hrvoje. As soon as a dud's been picked, the previous person gets the points.
So the goal is for me not to choose the dud.
Yeah, you want to choose Hasty Puddings. All of the way.
Again, the most mainstream, you mean, person, yeah?
Well, establishment.
Establishment.
The person who goes with the establishment, who you don't trust, who's done maybe some nefarious stuff, or maybe, you know.
I'll go with Cosby.
You'll go with Cosby? 3 points. Excellent. We're on 3 points. We're back to John. John, there's only 3 left now.
Wait, you saying Cosby got the Hasty Pudding Award?
Cosby, I should say Poddy. Yes, Cosby got the Hasty Pudding Award. So did John Travolta, and so did Tom Cruise. The establishment mainstream gets the Hasty Pudding Award. People like Jeffrey Epstein paid a lot of money for this, you know.
Okay, I just figured that they're also racist that they wouldn't put Cosby on the list. He was going to be the guy that I was going to leave for last. But okay.
Well, maybe they didn't feel like that, but then they had one of Cosby's little drinks. And then afterwards, they felt more pleasurable towards him. I don't know, something like that.
Hey, he's just like us.
He's exactly like us. Some pretty good he did what I do to people, too. Okay. There's one of these 3 that's left. So for the 3 that are left, for people who can you see the 3 that are left?
Yeah, I can see 3 people. But here's my thing.
One is my favorite picture of Jimmy Stewart.
I know the only dude out there that's left that I can name is the dude that I think is the dud. And now,
okay. So I will tell you the names. This is why I will tell you the names. Right down at the bottom left is Jimmy Stewart.
Okay.
Every time a bell rings, Mary and Angel gets the
Yeah, sure.
You got Mel Gibson there.
Yeah, that.
Marlon Brando. You've got those 3 left, so you choose one of those.
I'm gonna go with Brando.
That's the dud. There you go. Brando did not get the Hasty Pudding Award. It was Jimmy Stewart, and it was the wonderful Mel Gibson. So 3 points goes over to Hrvoje there.
See, I was gonna I thought the dud was gonna after you ruled out Cosby for me, I was thinking that it was gonna be Gibson, just because he's sort of got dragged through all the scandal stuff back in the 2000s, right? So anyways, but yeah.
I was gonna choose Brando, so don't feel
I thought you would. I had deduced such when I was picking who to put in this, that eventually, probably about on the 4th, 5th point, someone would want to choose Brando. But Brando was actually anti-establishment in many ways, and that was something that I was hoping that someone might pick out. But anyway, the next one, here we go, the next board. We start again. We're going to start with John this time. Why not? I'm in charge. I can choose. You can, if you want me to say who's on the board, I'll tell you.
I think I know most of these people, so I'll just wait till we get to the dude in the lower left-hand corner. I don't
Okay,
think I know who
okay,
that is.
John, the Hasty Pudding Club member. Which one? The establishment.
I'm gonna go with the creepiest dude that I can think of up there, which is the guy down in the middle, Kevin Spacey. Is he? Did he get the
Okay.
pudding?
No.
I got the
Unfortunately,
dud right
he's
away?
the dud straight away. So
Man,
Hrvoje
okay, I just
gets
figured
2
he's got
points
it.
there straight away. Hrvoje gets 2 points. That's
Easy
a good
money.
one. Yeah, indeed. Easy
Okay.
money. Harrison Ford was a Hasty Pudding boy. Ryan Reynolds, a Hasty Pudding boy. Downey Jr., Hasty Pudding boy. Old Timberlake, Hasty Pudding boy.
Timberlake, that's who that
And
is.
Timberlake was while Epstein was funding it, I believe, as well. And Tom Hanks. I would have chosen Tom Hanks first. Yeah.
Oh, people go overboard with that Q stuff on Tom Hanks. I don't know
Kevin
how much that is.
Spacey,
I know Kevin Spacey's basically.
I did lead you into that because, of course, Kevin Spacey had a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein that included catching his plane. Okay, now we're going across to the women. Boom. Here we go. We're now on the women. Back to Hrvoje for this one. Hrvoje, as Terry Wogan would say over here in Britain once upon a time. Which one of these do you think looks like they might be working for the establishment?
I've virtually forgotten all of their names because Hollywood just sucks lately, and I don't pay much attention to them. But I'll go with the girl from the Marvel movies, the first one, top left.
Why I forgotten her name? Now you've said that. It's like amazing. Go on, John. What's her name again?
I don't know, dude. Popular culture.
You know her. She's
Celebrities.
the one with the
Is it?
pouty lips. Scarlett Johansson.
I was gonna say that, but I figured I would just show
Johansson.
people how little I
We
know
got-
about who's who. I was gonna say that.
Okay, here we go. We got Scarlett Johansson. We've got Marilyn Monroe. We got Anne Hathaway. We've got Joan Rivers. We got Whoopi Goldberg, and we've got Bridget Jones herself. What's her name? I've forgotten her name as well. So over here, though, you say Scarlett Johansson. You're correct. Over to John, is it?
Okay. I'm supposed to pick somebody that's well, how long is is he giving it stuff to people posthumously or
No. And it's been going for the women since 1951, 1952, I think.
I didn't realize. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I guess I got Marilyn Monroe. I'm gonna pick her then.
You picked the dud again. You're good at this picking the dud. Hrvoje gets the 1 point there. Hrvoje gets. I thought this might be a quick round. Indeed. All of the rest were hasty puddings, including Joan Rivers, Whoopi Goldberg. I thought Whoopi Goldberg would be the one you'd be like straight away on.
That was my next Whoopi. I wasn't sure on Marilyn. I would have saved her towards the end. So.
Right. Okay. Right. And the last one now. The last women. Remember, be careful. We're going to start off with John. John, you've done so well in this round. It's been a good round for you. Oh no, a really bad round for you.
I've done so poorly. Like what I think is the criteria to use, I don't even trust myself at this point. I might as well
but I wanted this game to be a little bit like that. I wanted it to make you not trust yourself.
Who's the woman up in the upper right? Is that Lagarde?
So we have Halle Berry, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Helen Mirren is who I think you're looking for, Dame Judi Dench, Sandra Bullock, and Jamie Lee Curtis.
I'm just gonna pick the woman in the lower left-hand corner, just for fun.
Why would you do that?
I don't know, because I don't. Like I said, I don't even trust my ability to assess the appropriate criteria. I'm just gonna pick her because she looks very unique compared to the others on the board. And I'm gonna go with her.
So let me just repeat this: you're definitely gonna choose Dame Judi Dench, even after I've laughed a lot and done all of that. Yeah.
So I get laugh points regardless of the outcome.
Two points go to Hrvoje there, unfortunately, but you will get. I am going to give you 2 points straight back for the ultimate laugh. The laugh was on you, and I enjoyed it. It is Dame Judi Dench is the dud there. I put it in because I wanted to confuse you about the criteria.
I mean, there didn't seem to be any carryover from one board to the next. It wasn't like you could assume that based on the last one, the next one was going to be similar. So I just went with the one that was the most unique of them all up there. So
yeah, the picture rounds, they're doozies. They're doozies. They'll have you. Right. Okay. Wait a minute. All is not lost. Round 5. After that, John scored 2. No truth bombs, no corruption points, no bonus points, but 2 laugh points at the end. So there's an extra 2 laugh points, scoring a total of 7. Hrvoje scored 8 points, no truth bomb, no corruption points, no bonus points. So after 5 rounds, Hrvoje has 71, John has 67. There you are, gentlemen. We've almost come to the end of the show. Everything could change with the quick fire round and the final truth bombs. In the break, I asked both Hrvoje and John to pick their noses until they bled, and John won, so he'll go first. So you have 90 seconds to answer as many questions as possible. If you don't know the answers and just say pass, the round is over when you hear this sound.
So we penetrate the cabinets.
Are you ready to rumble, John?
Do I truth bomb these or do I just give the answers?
No, just giving straight answers.
All right,
Quick
let's
fire.
go for it.
Let's go
Ready.
for it. Here we go. What is the term for attacks on imported goods to protect domestic industries?
Tariffs.
Correct. Which U.S. president was assassinated in 1865, shortly after the end of the Civil War?
McKinley?
No, Abraham Lincoln. What
idiot.
international organization was established in 1945 to maintain peace and security with 50 initial member states represented in
United
San
Nations.
Francisco? Correct. In which year did Kerala, India, achieve near total literacy, becoming the first Indian state to do so?
Pass.
1991. Which country hosts the annual World Economic Forum?
Switzerland.
Correct. Who was the Japanese prime minister assassinated in July 2022?
Abe. Shinzo Abe.
Correct. Which global education initiative launched by the UN aims to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education by 2030?
UNESCO Education for All?
No, Sustainable Development Goal 4. Which U.S. president escaped 2 assassination attempts within 17 days in September 1975?
Oh, 1975. Oh, Ford. Gerald
Yes,
Ford.
correct. What popular music genre spread globally from South Korea in 2010s?
Oh, is the K-pop stuff?
Correct. What is the name of the first African
So we
American?
penetrate the cabinets.
Man, I blew that second question.
Wait.
Easy.
What is the name of the first African American newspaper in the United States founded in 1827?
Oh, dude. It's not the no. I can't think of it.
Okay, it's Freedom's Journal. You did well. You did well. You shouldn't feel unhappy about it. Right. Quick fire. Here you go, Hrvoje. You have 90 seconds to answer as many questions as possible. When your time is up, you will hear this sound.
So we penetrate the cabinets.
Are you ready? Excellent. What global event held every 4 years showcases international unity through sports?
The World Cup.
Olympics. Which Chilean leader was overthrown and assassinated in a CIA-backed coup in 1973?
Allende.
Correct. What was the name of the Croatian political party that led the country to independence in 1991?
HDZ.
Yes, correct. Which famous intelligence agent known as the White Mouse was a key figure in the French resistance during World War II?
I don't know.
Nancy Wake. Who was the dictator of Venezuela from 1908 to 1935, known for maintaining power through oil revenue and military control?
Don't know.
Juan Vicente Gomez. Which former Panamanian leader, a CIA operative for many years, was overthrown and arrested in 1989?
Manuel Noriega.
Correct. Which South American dictator ruled Peru until the 1990s and was later convicted of human rights abuses?
Oh, I don't know. He may have been of Asian descent, but yeah.
Alberto Fujimori. What year did Croatia join the European Union?
Unfortunately, I think 2013.
Correct. Which intelligence agent was known for her role in the...
That we penetrate the cabinets.
I started, so I finish. Which intelligence agent was known for her role in the Special Operations Executive and was the first female agent to be parachuted into Nazi-occupied France?
Don't know.
Virginia Hall. So that's it. The final scores are in. I am very impressed by this. There will be a final truth bomb, and that final truth bomb can earn you 3 points. But this is potentially going to be the highest scoring round. I can't quite remember what the end score was for Monica Perez last week, but she batted it out of the park, and she was in the high 70s. But the score is Hrvoje has 75 and John has 71. At the end, the round that seems to have got you was the hasty pudding round, John.
Yeah, there's two things, and the Abraham Lincoln question. There's two things that are going to bother me for the rest of the day. The first one is that I was not nice to Marjorie Taylor Greene. I will give her constantly. I do have horse-like features myself. The other thing that's going to bother me for the rest of the day is that I guessed William McKinley. I heard 1800s, and I didn't hear the rest of it, and obviously Civil War, and that's going to bother me for many days.
I have to at this. I honestly, John, I have to tell you at this point, I've got to give you a point, an extra point for being humble and being, how would you say, showing chivalry towards such a lady like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who chivalry would normally mean riding into battle. But anyway, sorry to all the ladies listening. He was more chivalrous than me. So let's say the scores are 75 to Hrvoje and John gets 72. Which means it's all still to play, because with Truth Bomb, of course, you've got the final Truth Bomb. If you can come up with the best Truth Bomb, you score 3 points, and the scores are currently Hrvoje has 75 and John has 72. So that would bring us into a tiebreaker. I'm going to start off with a person who's in the rear. Come on, John, give me a final Truth Bomb.
About anything in general?
Anything en général. Tous les choses. Everything. Anything. The best Truth Bomb you think you can come up with can earn you 3 points at the end of this game and tie it up.
The biggest and craziest and most explosive of all?
Have you
at
got
this
one?
moment in history right now? I would say it's that Donald Trump didn't get hit in the ear with a bullet.
What? Yo. Okay, go on. Get me taken down from YouTube. Say your bit. Go on. Give me more.
More on that? You said you didn't want to get taken down from YouTube. How much do I have to?
Yeah, but I'm being silly. Go on. Get me taken down. Throw me to the wolves. Do it. Say it. I'm willing.
Well,
I mean,
there's a few things, but if you look at the man's ear, all you gotta do is look at the man's ear. All right, I've seen many injuries in my life. That ear looks entirely unblemished. And when Joe Rogan asked him to show it to the camera, he didn't do like this. Say, hey, look, do you see? Look, check out my cauliflower ear. Do you see it? He said, do you see it? He put his finger over it like this and kept turning his head away from the camera. In the meantime, I'm not going to say that people didn't die and that bullets weren't fired. I'm not going to sit there and break all this down. But I'm going to say that, look, the reason why I sort of held my tongue on this was because it's like at the time, everybody was thinking that he's this big martyr and everybody, right, the deep state's going after him. And so, right, it just wouldn't make sense that, right, that would be happening. But if you look at like the way that the regime is turned out, right, we're sort of ramping up wars in the Middle East, and right, we're sort of this deportation operation is quickly turning into Guantanamo 2.0, floating the idea of putting American citizens essentially in CCOT. You can see that we're moving into the police state that 9/11 was basically the impetus for, right? All the Patriot Act stuff, right? The Unitary Executive, which is the Project 2025 plan. Like, we're basically in the Trump administration finishing the job that got started after 9/11. So if you believe, for all the people that, right, a lot of people that voted for Trump that believe that, in false flags and the deep state and conspiracies and things like that, if you believe those things are true and you believe that 9/11 was an inside job, if you remember Trump himself kind of flirted with that idea. If you believe that they would kill 3,000 people in a building, 2 buildings, and knock them down to start this the Wesley Clark list of countries that we want to go to war with in the Middle East, what makes you think that they wouldn't kill a couple people in a crowd to get the president in who's going to finish the job for the domestic police state and the global Armageddon? That's the rationale. And there's other things. If you look at, I'm sorry, but the picture of the bullet behind the guy's head, like, I'm pretty sure shutter speed doesn't catch a bullet flying through the air like that. I don't care if it's even sports level footage, right, which is a faster frame rate than you would use for a static event where someone's standing and speaking. Even that wouldn't catch a bullet streaking across. So I could go on and on. There was reports that you can look this up, 2 centimeter wound on his ear. 2 centimeters is
2 centimeters a lot.
You can see 2 centimeters. You can see it with the naked eye. Okay.
You'd see a couple of millimeters.
And the man has no problems with his hearing, right? There's no way that the concussion of just whizzing past your ear wouldn't cause damage to the inner ear. And I could go on and on, but I think that's the biggest one because, right? I mean, that was what really clinched his presidency, and that's what's got everybody on board with what he's doing. So,
okay, nice. It's a good truth bomb. That's a good final truth bomb. Now, come on, Hrvoje, don't mess with me.
So he literally stole my. I was literally going to say the same thing. And now I gotta
must have known. He's a bad man.
That's the biggest. It's the biggest truth bomb there is. But if I could just get one point, because I think we're tied. There's the BRICS PSYOP truth bomb or aliens. Maybe I'll go with aliens. And UFOs. Is that all right? Or
yeah, go for it. Go with it. Go with it. There are no holes barred.
We've got this UFO increasing disclosure stuff going on, and I think I may have mentioned this on your podcast previously, but I think it's all a psyop. There are no extraterrestrials, physical, outside aliens, and that J. Allen Hynek and Jacques Vallée, both of who are secular atheists or agnostics, say that. The UFO phenomenon is an interdimensional phenomenon. So I'm going to say that it's basically the demons and fallen angels running that psyop, and the goal is to convince. And they're doing this through all the TVs and films, promoting this idea of aliens creating us, and there is no God. And I see that that's going to be like one of their final cards to play. That. They're going to stage this with holograms or who knows what, Project Bluebeam, false contact, and say that they are these like the ascended masters or these aliens, and like Prometheus, they created us, and I find that working in conjunction with bad Zionism. I just learned from Richard Rowe.
Not positive Zionism.
Well, I
Zionism.
didn't know that Richard Wurmbrand in his Marx and Satan book talks about two forms of Zionism. That there's the brotherly love Zionism, where you treat your neighbors well and promote, Christianity and Zionism, and the bad version, which is what did we say, Moses Hess or whatever, the current Zionism that we're seeing executed by the Israeli state. And it seems like what they're trying to do is create as much carnage and enemies, the state of Israel today, by leveling Gaza and Lebanon and Syria and expanding to ultimately make way for a third world war and destroy the Abrahamic religions. So that way, that works in conjunction. Once you destroy the Abrahamic religions, you can then pave the way for the ascended masters and the aliens that seeded us, like Ridley Scott's Prometheus. I don't know. That's what I got.
No, that's good. That's good. That's good. Hey, now that's what I want to see. Oh my God, that guy is cute. Look at, oh my God.
He's whining outside, so I let him in. I was going to have him in because you got the news pace dog, but he didn't want to come in, and now he wants to come in, so I brought him in.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I
I would bring in my own dog. My own dog's a wonder dog. Oh, what a beautiful specimen that doggo is. I'm a big fan. So, okay. So those are the two final truth bombs. One of you are going to be awarded 3 points. And because I like this type of terrible
I get
behavior.
a point for the dog, too. Sorry.
You don't get point for the dog. You don't get a point for the dog. But it is going to tie up to 75-75. Because in actual fact, that was the first time someone was actually fully given me that extra bit that's made me go, yeah, okay, it was a fake bullet. It was a fake the whole thing seemed like staged to look like boss level. Trump.
Can I say one more thing about that, which is Donald Trump admits he's never been in a fist fight. I've been in many fist fights. If a bullet whizzed past my head, I'd be staying down. I don't care how, he ain't that tough. Okay, you don't get off and just happen to have a Getty image photo right there with the flag, and then they walk them away. Also, it's just I could go on and on, dude. I'd go on and on.
Shades of bullshit. And because as well as that, your opponent was like, "Hey, I would have chosen that one." So that kind of makes me go, "All right, it's 75-75." So we enter a fastest finger round. Say truth bomb. I'm going to ask you tiebreaker questions, and you're going to have to get the answer right. Which amendment to the U.S. Constitution officially extended the right to vote to women in 1920?
Truth bomb. 19.
Oh, there you go. John wins it just at the end. 19th Amendment. There you are. That is a terrible, brutal. Hrvoje looked like he had won. It feels a little bit like a fix, which I like, of course. And the dog's there now, and everybody's happy. So it ends, apart from Hrvoje, it ends 76-75 to John. As always, there's a final twist when you think you've won it on Truth Bomb. It turns out I pull out some random reason. And brilliant. It was brilliant, gentlemen. I really enjoyed that.
John, I'm not inviting you anymore to Croatian lamb barbecues.
I was happy with the tie. I wouldn't have had it any other way.
I'm just happy I didn't lose by like 10 points, which I thought I was. So I'm all right.
I have to say that last question, knowing that the right amendment, he did that. That was I did forget either of you were going to get that one. So that was but that was a good round.
I think Hrvoje should be allowed to win, and I should lose entirely just because I got the President Lincoln question wrong. Because that's just like
it's too late, John. It's too late.
All right. I'll take the win.
You're on 76 points. You're somewhere near Monica Perez at the top. Hrvoje is probably third, maybe at the moment. So it's been an excellent match. Hrvoje, where can people find you?
Geopoliticsandempire.com.
Great place. John, what have you got going on? Please tell people where they can find you.
Schoolworldorder.info is the best place, has all my social media on it. Book is at tryingday.com. Book is School World Order. You can find all my articles at unlimitedhangout.com.
Excellent. All right, gentlemen. Thanks for playing Truth Bomb. See you again soon. Hello. Thank you for watching that show. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate having your time and your attention just for a little bit. To make content like this, I need your help. I am constantly working hard to produce live shows, podcasts, truth bombs, and long-form investigative articles which expose a lot of what's going on behind the scenes. Continue doing that. I need your support. You can either support me via Patreon by becoming a patron, where you'll get shows like Truth Bomb early. You could support me by dropping me something on Buy Me a Coffee or on Ko-Fi, and I really do appreciate your support. Go to newspaste.com for more, and thank you again.
Young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, and so on, said